Chapter 1500. The 10,000 Poison Clan ruled a total of 3 major starfields, namely the Spider Starfield, the Red Snake Starfield, and the Black Scorpion Starfield. Each starfield was vast and boundless, with many prosperous life planets. At this moment, Xiaoping was in the Spider Starfield and had arrived at a relatively prosperous commercial planet, Bamboo Peach Planet. This planet was extremely prosperous in terms of commerce. It was twice the size of Yanhuang Planet and had a population of more than 100 billion. Countless practitioners would enter and exit this place to conduct transactions. Xiaoping Stars was currently hidden outside this planet, watching from afar. Corinne, can Dumbo really swallow this planet? Xiaoping looked at Corinne. Corinne said confidently, of course, if Gaia wanted to become stronger quickly, it would need to swallow other planets to strengthen its body, in addition to a huge soul. In the beginning, Dumbo's size was only about the size of an asteroid, but after being nurtured by the Old Master, it has grown to the size of a star after tens of thousands of years. If not for the Old Master's accidental death, perhaps Dumbo's current size would be even bigger. It would be easy for it to be thousands of times bigger than it is now. Moreover, there are many benefits after swallowing this planet. Not only can it obtain the entire planet's materials, but it can also obtain the planet population of hundreds of billions. It knew Gaia's information like the back of its hand, indicating that there was absolutely no problem in doing so. But it doesn't seem to be that simple to swallow this planet. What if an enemy comes out to obstruct it? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes, worried that Dumbo's swallowing of the planet might be obstructed. Don't worry, as long as the Saints don't take action, no one could do anything to Dumbo. Even the Thunder Retribution Realm powerhouses can't do anything. They're just clay chickens and pottery dogs. Corinne was dismissive. Dumbo, do you want to eat that planet? Xiaoping looked at Dumbo, who was hugging his thigh and sleeping, and gently stroked her little head. Planet. Hearing Xiaoping's words, Dumbo rubbed her eyes and blinked. Looking outside, her eyes lit up and she was very excited. Brother, is that the food you gave to Dumbo? She was Gaia. She would have the desire to swallow any life planet and take it for herself. However, most of Gaia were otaku girls and otakus. They were natural losers. If there was no need, they would sleep on the spot and slowly evolve. They would not go out unless it was absolutely necessary. Food. The corner of Xiaoping's mouth twitched. Looking at Dumbo's excited look, he felt that he was worrying too much. Dumbo was a super creature in the universe, one of the strongest races. It couldn't be described with common sense. Yes, this is the food I have prepared for you. Eat as much as you want. Don't stand on ceremony. Xiaoping said carelessly and waved his hand. He was very generous and generous. Thank you, big brother. Dumbo was very excited. In a flash, he left the stars. Xiaoping wanted to ask Dumbo if it planned to devour the planet. However, he did not expect Dumbo to create a black hole that was dozens of times bigger than the planet with a wave of its hand, producing a terrifying suction force. The living beings living on the Bamboo Peach Planet also experienced an unforgettable day. They lived like before, going to work, working, and going to school. But all of a sudden, a gigantic black hole appeared, devouring the entire world. Even the spaceships flying around Bamboo Peach Planet were unable to escape from the devouring of the black hole. Even if someone wanted to urgently call for help under the black hole, even light could be distorted. No signal could be sent out. Boom! After a few breaths, the planet was completely devoured. Countless spaceships nearby also disappeared completely. All of them had entered Dumbo's stomach. So simple. Xiaoping blinked his eyes. This was a planet that was even bigger than Yanhuang Planet, yet was devoured by Dumbo in one bite. What a terrifying scene. If Yanhuang Planet had encountered a creature like Dumbo back then, it would have perished instantly without any chance to resist. Swoosh! Dumbo's figure flashed and returned to the spaceship again. It came to Xiaoping's side and gave a burp. It seemed to have tasted good. Dumbo, what happened to that planet? Xiaoping was very curious, because he didn't know what would happen to the planet that was devoured by Dumbo. It will become like this. Dumbo stretched out its finger and tapped Xiaoping's thigh lightly. Suddenly, A huge amount of information entered Xiaoping's mind. Countless information and images appeared in the depths of his mind. I see. Xiaoping suddenly understood. After this bamboo peach planet entered Dumbo's stomach, other than life, all other substances on the planet instantly disintegrated, turning into basic substances and integrating into Dumbo's body. After these substances entered Gaia planet, they would turn into mountains, soil, rivers, volcanoes, deserts, and so on. They would constantly increase the planet's land area and ocean area. As for the hundreds of billions of humans on this planet, they were scattered in every corner of Gaia planet and started anew. As for the spaceships, weapons, spirit stones, and so on, they were all refined and transformed into Gaia planet's energy. It could be said that apart from being practitioners, they had nothing. They were completely primitive people and could only start anew in this place. Xiaoping was very regretful. He originally wanted to get a lot of training resources from this planet, but now it seemed impossible. Once it was devoured by Gaia, any non-living substances would instantly turn into basic substances and be completely transformed. But it didn't matter. Anyway, letting Gaia continue to grow stronger would also bring him endless benefits. Let's go and continue to the next one. Xiaoping immediately took action. This was just the beginning. He still had to devour more life planets. He believed that if these flourishing business planets were to disappear, it would be an unimaginable blow to Thousand Poison Clan and cause them to be filled with hatred. And not long after Xiaoping left, many commercial spaceships flew towards Bamboo Peach Planet. They were all here to do business or to travel. But when they arrived, they were all dumbfounded. Wait, where's Bamboo Peach Planet? Where did it go? You must be joking. Don't tell me it disappeared. Disappear my ass. How could such a huge planet disappear? Don't tell me we went the wrong way and came to another star field. Impossible. According to the star map, this place is where Bamboo Peach Planet is located. But why did Bamboo Peach Planet disappear? Immediately contact our staff on Bamboo Peach Planet and ask them what exactly happened. No, we can't ask at all. We can't even get through to their phones. There's no one on the Universe Virtual Network. Damn it. Something big has happened. Something really big has happened. Chapter 1501. However, the disappearance of Bamboo Peach Planet was just the beginning. In a few days, Nightfall Planet, Lily Planet, Cypress Pine Planet, Azalea Planet, and other 20 commercial planets disappeared. Each of these planets had a population of more than 100 billion, and there were even 5 or 6 planets with a population of more than 300 billion. They were extremely prosperous and had many practitioners. However, these people suddenly disappeared without a trace, and the impact of this could be imagined. For a moment, the people of the Spider Star region, the Red Snake Star region, and the Black Scorpion Star region were in a state of panic. They were afraid that such a phenomenon would happen to them. The Southern Universe Forum was naturally filled with this news. Even if the Wandu clan wanted to block it, it was impossible. It's really terrifying. Bamboo Peach Planet, Nightfall Planet, Lily Planet, Cypress Pine Planet, Azalea Planet, and other 20 planets disappeared overnight. It's simply unbelievable. What happened? It's hard to understand. If someone was crazy enough to destroy a planet, then the explosion of a planet would cause a chain reaction among the surrounding planets, causing violent fluctuations in the surrounding planets within a radius of billions of kilometers. However, none of these phenomena happened. They just disappeared silently, as if they were swallowed. Is this a natural phenomenon or man-made? If it's a natural phenomenon, what's the reason? If it's man-made, who has such great ability? Could it be that the Wandu clan offended a sage, and the sage took revenge on them? Impossible. If a sage appeared in the Wandu clan star region, he would definitely be discovered. Unless the sages wanted to start a war, it would be impossible. Everyone was talking about it, but they could not understand it. Some people said their own guesses, but they were all overruled by the others. There was no evidence to prove it. The Wandu clan was even more busy. Originally, in order to chase after Xiaoping, they had caused a commotion all over the city. Now, such a strange thing had happened, which made them even more furious. However, the disappearance of a planet was just too unbelievable. They didn't find anything. They could not even find a trace of Xiaoping, because the spiritual imprint on Xiaoping's body had long been refined, without a trace left. Even if Xiaoping appeared in front of this group of Wandu clan disciples, they would not be able to detect anything. At this time, Xiaoping went online and immediately posted on the forum. He didn't post any content, only a few pictures. One was a picture of Bamboo Peach Planet still existing, and another was a picture of Bamboo Peach Planet after it disappeared. Below it was a sentence. This is a warning. Just this post alone did not require any money to be pinned at all. In an instant, it became the most popular post of the day. Countless people entered this post to reply. Heavens, it's Wu Woody. That bastard Wu Woody did it. He's the one who made Bamboo Peach Planet and the other planets disappear. Quite a few people were horrified. They saw the truth of the matter from these images. Just what kind of technique did he use? How did he make a planet disappear silently? Does he possess a sacred artifact? Some speculated that Xiaoping might possess a sacred artifact, which was why he could instantly flatten a planet. Too arrogant. Wiping out 20 planets and provoking the 10,000 poison sect is actually just a warning. Just how far does he want to go? 20 planets. Each planet has at least 100 billion people. By doing this, he has slaughtered at least 2 trillion people, maybe even more. Even if he's a devil Dao overlord, that's all he can do. Wu Woody is an unparalleled devil. Everyone has the right to punish him. Everyone was discussing spiritedly. They were shocked by Xiaoping's actions. One had to know that these planets were all commercial planets. People came and went. Among them, there were not only disciples of the 10,000 Poison sect, but also many disciples of other sects and large tribes. But now, because of the disappearance of the planets, they had also disappeared. The turmoil caused was far from just the 10,000 Poison sect. Even the entire southern universe was alarmed. Many Saint-class sects and large tribes had their eyes on this place. Seeing these replies, Xiaoping immediately replied and said disdainfully, Devil, your southern universe is the base camp of the Devil Dao sects. Slaughtering is your specialty. Have you forgotten how many people you killed when you invaded the eastern universe and the northern universe? You're making a fuss over nothing with such a small number of people. To be honest, I didn't want to do this, but your southern barbarians are too weak. With just a little bit of effort, you were easily defeated by me and slaughtered the planets. What do you mean? Are you not from our southern universe? A 10,000 Poison sect disciple wanted to take the opportunity to inquire about Xiaoping. That's right, I'm really not from the southern universe. Xiaoping directly admitted and said, I'm not afraid to tell you that I, Wu Di, am from the northern universe. My true identity is a disciple of the northern universe's Black Heaven sect. I have 3 sages behind me and endless power, not to mention killing some 10,000 Poison sect disciples. Even if I killed all the 10,000 Poison sect elders and slept with all the women of the 10,000 Poison sect, the Black Heaven sect would guarantee my safety. Don't tell me you have the ability to kill your way to the Black Heaven sect to find trouble with me. The 10,000 Poison sect is just a bunch of chickens and dogs. I only have one purpose in coming to the Southern Universe this time, and that is to show off. I want to tell you, Southern Barbarian dogs, not to be so arrogant in the future. Don't step in my Northern Universe. Otherwise, I'll slaughter every planet I see. Don't say I didn't warn you. He revealed his identity and claimed to be a disciple of the Black Heaven sect. He wanted to show off in the Southern Universe and use these Southern Barbarians as his stepping stone to fame. His words were simple and straightforward. He didn't hide anything and completely exposed his ambition. F***CK your ancestors. Even in Northern Universe dogs dare to come to the Southern Universe to behave atrociously. Do you know what kind of place this is? Is this a place you can come to? F***CK. I knew this guy was so arrogant, and unscrupulous. He dared to do anything. Turns out he's a dog of the Northern Universe. His moral character is so low that it's despicable. No wonder he's so arrogant. He has a saint-grade sect behind him. However, do you really think that no one can do anything to you after you've done so many evil deeds? Justice is clear, and retribution is not good. The group of people gnashed their teeth in anger. If Xiaoping was here, they would definitely swarm him. Retribution, my ass, Xiaoping said disdainfully. You want me to have retribution with just this bit of strength? You'll have a share of eating shit. I am the heavens, the reason, the rules, and my fist. Who can retribution me? 10,000 poison sect. I advise you to surrender immediately. Obediently kowtow and apologize. Offer up your sect's saint artifacts, many secret manuals, and a large number of beauties. Otherwise, you will suffer in the future. Your sect will be wiped out in an instant. Chapter 1502. Oh, an elder from the 10,000 poison sect roared furiously. A dog from the northern cosmos dares to humiliate a demonic sect like this? This is too much. He wished he could immediately appear in front of Wu Wuti and crush his head. He had never been mocked like this in his life. It was a great humiliation. It was not just the people from the 10,000 poison sect. Even the people from the southern cosmos were furious. They saw Wu Wuti as a thorn in their side and wanted nothing more than to get rid of him. I can't take it anymore. A dog from the northern cosmos dares to show off in our southern cosmos. I'm going to kill him. He actually dares to look down on our southern cosmos. His guts are boundless. He dares to reveal his identity. Is he looking down on us? Even if we know his identity, we can't do anything to him? The people from the southern cosmos gritted their teeth. They hated Xiaoping to the extreme. Although Xiaoping was attacking the 10,000 poison sect now, things had developed to this point. It was no longer just the 10,000 poison sect's matter. This matter had escalated to the level of all the forces in the southern cosmos. If they did not make this guy pay the price, wouldn't it mean that the southern cosmos had no one to deal with? They could only let this be asterisk TCH from the northern cosmos strut around without being able to do anything. At this time, Xiaoping created a few more sock puppets and fanned the flames on the forum. It's useless. He's a true disciple of the northern cosmos mystic heaven sect. It's said that he's a disciple of a sage. No matter how powerful the 10,000 poison sect is, they only have 2 sages. How can they compare to the mystic heaven sect? If the 10,000 poison sect really dares to deal with the mystic heaven sect, I'm afraid they'll be beaten to a pulp. They won't dare to retaliate. They'll just be obedient turtles. That's right. He exposed his identity because he has something to fear. After all, the mystic heaven sect is far away in the northern cosmos. It's not as simple as just tens of thousands of miles away from the southern cosmos. It's countless light years away. No matter how angry the sects of the southern cosmos are, can they cross countless light years to deal with the mystic heaven sect? Don't have any wishful thinking about this. That's right, that's right. Even in the southern universe, there are many sects and there are many conflicts. Among them, there are many who have blood feuds. For the sake of Wu Wuti, they're willing to cooperate wholeheartedly. Don't even think about invading the northern universe. If you want to enter the northern cosmos, you'll have to pass through either the eastern cosmos or the western cosmos. That is to say, if you want to deal with the northern cosmos, you'll have to deal with both cosmoses at the same time. No matter how powerful the southern cosmos is, they'll still be at a loss unless they want to be wiped out. In short, it's impossible for the southern universe to deal with Wu Wuti. No matter how angry you are, you have to hold it in. So what if you have a saint? It's as if he doesn't have one. That's right. Even if I slaughter 20 of your planets, you still have to obediently accept it. What can you do even if you're unconvinced? That's right. The 10,000 Poison Clan can run amok in the southern universe, but they're nothing in the entire universe. They have to behave themselves with their tails between their legs. Otherwise, they'll be exterminated. I hope that after this incident, the various sects of the southern universe won't be so arrogant. If they see people from the northern universe, they'll have to give way. Otherwise, even if they slap you in the face, you won't be able to do anything about it. It'll just be shameful. One by one, the sock puppets started to stir up trouble on the forum. They stated that it was impossible to deal with Wu Wuti, lamented the grievances of the southern universe, and lamented the failure of the southern universe. In short, from various perspectives, it was wishful thinking to deal with Wu Wuti. This time, No matter how much the 10,000 poison clan suffered, they had to hold it in. Although that was the case, the people of the Southern Universe, especially the disciples of the 10,000 poison clan, were furious when they saw these replies. A bunch of Northern Universe dogs, stop barking here. This is the Southern Universe Forum. It's none of your business. Where's the administrator? Where's the administrator? Immediately ban these accounts that are stirring up trouble. You're boosting the morale of others and diminishing your own. Are you still people of the Southern Universe? You're all spies from the Southern Universe. Be asterisk stars. You make it sound like the Northern Universe is very arrogant. If the Northern Universe has the guts to attack the Southern Universe, I'll teach you Northern Universe dogs a lesson. Just because you're far away, you're arrogant. I've never seen such be asterisk cheese. One by one, the people of the Southern Universe were scolding each other. They were filled with righteous indignation and gnashed their teeth. They wanted to scold these people until they couldn't take care of themselves. At this time, Xiaoping jumped out again. Sigh, a bunch of idiots. They're just some people who speak up for justice and have wisdom. They can see things that ordinary people can't see. You're all so eager to put labels on them, saying that they're spies from the Southern Universe or dogs of the Northern Universe. People nowadays can't bear to hear the truth, can they? Did these words poke at the sore spot in your heart and make it hard for you to accept? To be honest, I have a shortcoming, and that's honesty. Although I know you're not very willing to listen to me, I still have to say it. Otherwise, I'll feel uncomfortable all over. Although you people of the Southern Universe are physically strong, your brains aren't good. Your brains have grown on your muscles. You only have brute force, but this won't work in the universe. The winner is always the smart one. You'd better study well. Don't be ignorant all day and think that you're very arrogant. He gave his advice to the people of the Southern Universe. As soon as this was said, the entire forum exploded. Many people of the Southern Universe cursed Xiaoping's ancestors from head to toe. They cursed him for tens of millions of pages. Billions of people took turns to curse him, and the words were not repeated. It could be said that this post had the highest number of replies in history. This also made the administrator extremely busy. It was unknown how many abusive accounts were banned. The entire forum was filled with blood and chaos. In particular, the faces of the people from the 10,000 Poison Clan turned green because they were the ones involved and bore the brunt of it. Damn it! Why haven't we found that Wu Woody yet? Are you all stupid? Why aren't you doing your best to find him? Find that be asterisk TCH immediately and tear him apart. An elder roared. Elder, we've tried our best to find him. We've conducted a carpet search on every planet, but we still can't find any traces of him. It's as if he has vanished from the face of the earth. So we have a guess now. If he hasn't left our 3 major star fields a long time ago, then the 10,000 Poison Clan's spiritual imprint on him has been removed. A 10,000 Poison Clan disciple guessed. Impossible. This is a unique method of our 10,000 Poison Clan. Who can remove it? The Grand Elder frowned. Elder, although this method is indeed powerful, there are countless capable people in the universe. Who knows if there are methods to remove our 10,000 Poison Clan's spiritual imprint? In short, without the spiritual imprint to mark his whereabouts, it's impossible to find him in the 3 major star fields. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack. The 10,000 Poison Clan disciple said in a deep voice, "For now, there's only one way to find Wu Woody's whereabouts, and that is to ask the sage to take action." What? Chapter 1503. At this moment in the stars. Beep, the system's voice sounded out. Congratulations to the host. You have angered the 10,000 Poison Clan and many other creatures of the Southern Universe, gaining a total of 3 billion hatred points. Currently, the total hatred points have reached 5 billion hatred points. I hope you will continue to work hard. Got 3 billion hate points. Xiaoping was amazed. Although he had known that what he had done this time would definitely arouse the resentment of everyone, he did not expect that this group of people would hate him to such an extent that it had reached the level of 3 billion hate points. However, he also had to thank this group of people for their dedication. Otherwise, how could he get such an amazing amount of hatred? In this way, he could buy more treasures and strengthen himself. Beep beep. Host, please take note. There is a strong killing intent directed at the host. It is suspected that a sage has made a move. Please take note, host. The system immediately sent out a warning. A sage is making a move? Could it be the saint of the Wandu clan? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He had not expected that such a small matter would cause a sage to take action. This was not within the scope of his plans. If some golden cores had died, it would not have provoked the saints of the 10,000 poison sect to take action. The problem was that Xiaoping was courting death by causing trouble on the Southern Universe Forum. All of a sudden, this matter became a big deal. Everyone in the Southern Universe knew about it, and it also caused the 10,000 Poison Clan to lose face. So, in order to save the Wandu clan's face, even if this matter might be criticized by others and be seen as the strong bullying the weak, they couldn't care so much. If they let Xiaoping escape from the scope of their 10,000 Poison Clan's rule, it would instead be even more humiliating. If a sage makes a move, I can't continue playing. I have to leave. Xiaoping knew how terrifying a sage was. A sage could travel through an entire star field in an instant. If his whereabouts were known by the sages, he would be in big trouble. Of course, with the stars in his hands, it would not be easy for the saints to kill him. However, there was no benefit in going against the sage now. Instead, it would exhaust his trump cards. The gains did not make up for the losses. Oh no, Xiaoping, there's a sage scanning the star field. Suddenly, Corinne's voice came out. His voice was very solemn. It borrowed the power of the stars to sense the power of the saint. The other party was extremely domineering and unbridled. However, due to the star's ability to hide in the void, the saints could not find its whereabouts. Oh, so you're saying that you're going to run away now? Xiaoping also felt that he had had enough fun. He had obtained the resources of 20 planets and over 2 trillion people. He believed that Gaia Planet would develop rapidly and obtain a lot of benefits. He didn't need to stay in this dangerous place. If we jump in space at this moment, the sage will definitely discover the space fluctuation, and at that time, he will definitely discover our whereabouts. Corinne said in a deep voice, "That can't be. Doesn't that mean that we can only hide in some void and leave after the saint gets tired of it?" The green ox also sensed the seriousness of the matter. Not necessarily. I have the compass of wishes with me. I should be able to find a safe path to leave the territory of the 10,000 Poison Clan. Xiaoping was very calm because the power of the Khanate magic treasure, the wish compass, was very terrifying. It could grant almost any wish. With this magic treasure, even if a sage wanted to kill him, it would be an extremely difficult task. Back then, the Myriad Star Sect Master had relied on this treasure to evade many pursuits and obtain many treasures. Yes, there are 5 or 6 paths. Xiaoping took out the wish compass, and immediately the compass spun. 5 or 6 clear paths appeared in his mind. As long as he left according to one of the paths, he would definitely be able to escape the pursuit of the saint. Some of the gray aura in the depths of the compass also decreased a little. Clearly, in order to avoid the pursuit of the saint, he had to expend a portion of energy, and the amount was not small. However, what was strange was that these 5 or 6 paths seemed to lead to a destination. It was as if no matter which path he took, he would arrive at a certain place. Where exactly is that place? Xiaoping frowned, but he didn't think for too long. In short, he would know where the destination was once he went there and took a look. Swoosh! Under Xiaoping's control, the myriad stars kept advancing toward one of the paths. After flying for a day and a night, he lost track of how many light years he had flown. Finally, he arrived at the destination, but there was nothing around him. Furthermore, this place was still in the Arachnid Star territory. Before Xiaoping could figure out what was going on, a black hole suddenly appeared in the void in front of him, producing intense spatial fluctuations. In the next second, the myriad stars was immediately sucked in without even having time to react. After a while, swoosh, a figure immediately appeared in this starry sky, emitting a terrifying aura. It was as if all the energy in the star territory where he stood had stopped circulating, forming an absolute saint territory. There seemed to be black aura flowing in the depths of his pupils, containing faintly discernible poisonous gas. When it was released, even the void was corroded and miniature wormholes appeared. This person was a saint of the Myriad Poison clan, Myriad Poison Supremacy. Rumor had it that he had cultivated his poison arts to an extremely high level. His poison arts were earth-shattering, and he could even corrode space. Ordinary saints didn't dare to provoke this old poisonous creature. Previously, he had been searching for the life aura of the 3-star territories ruled by the Myriad Poison clan. Suddenly, he sensed an intense spatial fluctuation and immediately teleported over. However, by the time Myriad Poison Supremacy arrived, this spatial passageway had already disappeared without a trace. No matter how he searched, he couldn't find any traces. It was impossible to follow the spatial fluctuations and track him down. He ran away. Myriad Poison Supremacy frowned. He was unwilling to give up and try to search. His powerful soul energy permeated the void, but he found nothing in this place. It was just an ordinary starry sky. One had to know that he was a saint. In order to capture a true Fire Realm Junior, he had personally taken action, but the Junior had still escaped. How could he endure this? However, after searching this place for 3 days and 3 nights, he still couldn't find any clues. In the end, Myriad Poison Supremacy could only return, indicating that Wu Wudi had escaped and could no longer be caught. After all, he was a saint. He couldn't waste time in this place. Since he couldn't catch him, he chose to give up. When this news reached the Myriad Poison clan, it caused a huge commotion. This was because none of them had expected that even a saint would not be able to catch that junior. The guy had even escaped and could no longer be caught. This news was too shocking. Even the entire Southern Universe was shocked. They began to know that a man called Wu Wudi had once escaped from a saint. Some people even spread this news to the Northern Universe, wanting to know where Wu Wudi was in the Mystic Heaven clan. Chapter 1504. On this day, on the Mystic Heaven Sect's forum, many Mystic Heaven Sect disciples were bragging on this forum, exchanging martial arts experiences, discussing which secret realms and treasures had appeared, or discussing which sect had produced beautiful junior sisters and handsome senior brothers. However, among the many topics, the hottest topic was the Mystic Heaven Sect's recent setback in the dense fog galaxy. A large number of Mystic Heaven Sect's elite disciples had died, and even 12 Golden Core perfected masters had died. It was a heavy loss. This made many Mystic Heaven Sect elders furious, and the news spread throughout the Mystic Heaven Sect. Has everyone heard about what happened in the dense fog galaxy? Of course I've heard of it. Previously, an elder obtained the coordinates of a dense fog star zone. The sages took action and opened a temporary space-time gate, sending many brothers and sisters into it. They hope to establish a stable and permanent base as a bridgehead for our exploration of the dense fog star zone. At first, I thought that this plan was foolproof and that we'd be able to benefit from it in the future. We'd be able to benefit from the dense fog galaxy and rise with the Mystic Heaven Sect. I didn't expect a native named Wu Wudi to mess things up. That's right. If this plan had succeeded, the famous secret realm in the dense fog galaxy would have been our Mystic Heaven Sect's backyard. The benefits we'd reap would have been immeasurable. If it weren't for that damned native Wu Wudi, that bastard killed many of our Mystic Heaven Sect's Golden Core perfected masters and destroyed the spatial gate, our plan would have failed. Damn it. We must capture that native and kill him. We must even kill his entire family. That's the only way to vent my hatred. Senior Brother Ronghang and Senior Brother Fangzheng are such good people. It's so unfair for them to die at the hands of that native. How do we kill him? He'll just stay in the dense fog galaxy. That place is very strange. Even the sage doesn't dare to get too involved. We probably won't be able to enter the dense fog galaxy and kill him for the rest of our lives. We can't go in, but that native won't come out? It's fine if he doesn't come out, but if he dares to leave the dense fog galaxy and strut around in the outside world, that'll be the day he dies. That's right. It's best if that guy stays in the dense fog galaxy for the rest of his life. Otherwise, once he comes out, he'll soon experience the wrath of the Black Heaven Sect, and what it means to live a life worse than death. Cutting off one's path to wealth is like killing one's parents. Our Mystic Heaven sect and Wu Wudi have an irreconcilable hatred. We will not let this matter rest. The elders have even put up a bounty. Anyone who can find or kill Wu Wudi will be rewarded handsomely. Many of the mysterious Heaven sect's disciples discussed among themselves. They were all gnashing their teeth over what had happened before. If they could open up a path to the dense fog galaxy, the benefits would be unimaginable. As disciples of the Black Heaven sect, they would naturally receive endless benefits. Now, it had been destroyed by Wu Wudi. One could imagine how furious they were. They even wanted to tear Wu Wudi into pieces. Oh no, a Mystic Heaven sect disciple posted on the internet. A disciple of the 10,000 Poison Clan suddenly broke into one of our sect's encampments and started a massacre. He killed hundreds of our Mystic Heaven sect disciples and even 7 or 8 Golden Core perfected masters. The 10,000 Poison Clan disciple even said that he wanted to kill more of our Mystic Heaven sect disciples. In just one day, 7 or 8 sect encampments have been attacked by the 10,000 Poison Clan disciples. He passed on this shocking news. What? Many of the Mystic Heaven sect disciples were shocked. They had heard of the 10,000 Poison Clan, a demonic sect from the southern universe. They had footprints all over the universe, and there were traces of 10,000 Poison Clan disciples everywhere in the northern universe. However, the 10,000 Poison Clan was very cautious. Although they killed people like flies, most of the people who died were rogue cultivators or disciples from sects without much background. They would never provoke a large sect like the Mystic Heaven sect. Therefore, both sides had always been at peace and would not provoke each other too much. However, the 10,000 Poison Clan actually dared to provoke the Mystic Heaven sect and kill their people. How audacious! Why did this happen? Are these 10,000 Poison Clan disciples crazy? They dared to provoke our Mystic Heaven sect. Are they not afraid that our Mystic Heaven sect will surround these demonic beasts? A Mystic Heaven sect disciple was furious. Why did the 10,000 Poison Clan disciples attack our Mystic Heaven sect encampment? Is there a reason? A Mystic Heaven sect disciple's eyes flickered. He was very cautious. He wanted to know why the 10,000 Poison Clan had suddenly attacked his own sect disciples. What reason? Do demonic path thieves need a reason to kill? That's right. Sometimes these demonic path bastards will slaughter the people of an entire city just because they are in a bad mood. It's useless to reason with them. I already said that we should quickly kill these demonic path disciples and eliminate them to prevent them from causing any more trouble. However, you all didn't agree because you were afraid of the 10,000 Poison Clan's revenge. Now, these 10,000 Poison Clan bastards have placed their butcher's knife on our necks and even killed our fellow disciples. Raising a tiger will only invite disaster. Kill that group of Du Clan disciples. Kill them. Take revenge for our brothers who died. Cut them into 10,000 pieces. We must cut those 10,000 Poison Clan disciples into 10,000 pieces. They dare to provoke our 10,000 Poison Clan? They don't even know how to write the word death. This is the northern universe, the territory of our Mystic Heaven sect. Puny demonic path disciples dare to behave atrociously. They are courting death. The Mystic Heaven sect disciples roared angrily. Their killing intent soared as they gnashed their teeth. A Mystic Heaven sect elder immediately gave the order to kill these evil 10,000 Poison Clan disciples. A group of Mystic Heaven sect elites immediately went out to encircle the 10,000 Poison Clan disciples. However, the results were not very good. Even though they had the advantage in numbers and killed many 10,000 Poison Clan disciples, the problem was that the 10,000 Poison Clan disciples were ruthless and cunning. They had all kinds of strange poisons on their bodies and could kill without leaving a trace. Often, when they killed a 10,000 Poison Clan disciple, hundreds of Mystic Heaven sect disciples would die. This brought heavy losses to the Mystic Heaven sect elders. This made the expressions of the Mystic Heaven sect elders very unsightly. For a moment, Many Mystic Heaven sect disciples were in a state of panic. They walked in groups at night and prepared their own dry rations and drinking water every time they ate. They were afraid of encountering a 10,000 poison clan disciple and being poisoned to death without anyone knowing. Damn it, is the 10,000 poison clan crazy? They actually attacked our sect without any regard for their lives and killed our Mystic Heaven sect disciples. Some of them even carried out suicide attacks and self-destructed at the slightest provocation. What kind of deep hatred do we have with them? Some Mystic Heaven sect elders were puzzled. Although they were not afraid of the revenge of the 10,000 poison clan disciples, they also wanted to know why they had provoked such a powerful enemy for no reason and made these people attack their sect like crazy. Chapter 1505. As soon as this post appeared, it immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the Mysterious Heaven sect. They all logged in to take a look. They took a closer look and saw that the title of the post was written in blood-like words, full of murderous intent and murderous intent. Mysterious Heaven sect, hand over your evil disciple immediately, or you will be the eternal enemy of my 10,000 poison sect. Our 10,000 poison sect will swear that we will fight you to the death until the last soldier is exhausted. Killing tens of thousands of your Mysterious Heaven sect disciples this time is just the beginning, a warm-up. Next time, your Mysterious Heaven sect will suffer even greater losses and bear the endless anger of our 10,000 poison sect. This post was like a declaration of war. They wanted to start a war with the Mysterious Heaven sect, and they wouldn't stop until one of them was dead. This showed the strong killing intent of the 10,000 poison sect. You killed a disciple of our Wandu clan. The Profound Heaven clan must give us an explanation. Hand over the Profound Heaven sect's evil disciple immediately and execute him on the spot. Otherwise, our Wandu clan will not let this matter rest. The monk can run, but the temple can't. Don't think that just because that scoundrel escaped from the Southern Universe, he'll be able to live. Even if you flee back to the Profound Heaven sect's headquarters and flee to the ends of the universe, our 10,000 poison sect pursuit will not stop. He has been strutting around in our southern universe for such a long time, crazily slaughtering 20 planets, causing the deaths of trillions of lives. This is a peerless demon, and everyone has the right to punish him. If the Mysterious Heaven sect dares to shelter such a disciple, then it will be a demonic sect that will be exterminated by the entire world. One by one, the disciples of the 10,000 poison sect rushed into the forum and madly roared. The reason why they were fighting to the death with the Mysterious Heaven sect was because of a disciple of the Mysterious Heaven sect who had offended the 10,000 poison sect. What? Many of the Mysterious Heaven sect elders were shocked and angry. They finally understood why the Wandu clan was acting like madmen seeking revenge on them. It turned out that one of their disciples had offended the Wandu clan. But they also didn't know who that disciple was and what he had done to make the Wandu clan angry to this extent, even to the extent that they would not rest until one side was dead. Who is it? Which disciple did something to the Wandu clan? A Mysterious Heaven sect elder immediately asked with a sinister expression. Such a big thing had happened, and he had even provoked the revenge of the 10,000 poison sect. If he found that Mysterious Heaven sect disciple, he would definitely kill him. He actually brought such a big disaster to the sect. However, many of the Mysterious Heaven sect disciples shook their heads, indicating that they didn't know anything. None of them knew what had happened. After all, what Xia Ping did happen in the Southern Universe. That place was too far away, and no one in the Northern Universe would care about what happened in the 10,000 Poison Clan. After asking around, no one knew what had happened. A Mysterious Heaven sect elder could only reply, 10,000 Poison Sect, we don't know what you're talking about. Did you take revenge on the wrong person? Stop pretending. The 10,000 Poison Sect elder shouted angrily. Don't you know what your true disciple, Wu Wudi, has done in the Southern Universe? Relying on the fact that you have the support of the Mystic Heaven sect, you are unscrupulous and killed many golden cores of our myriad poison sect. You even destroyed 20 prosperous planets in a row and killed more than 3 trillion people. This legacy disciple of the Mystic Heaven sect is even more vicious than us Fiend sections. Everyone has the right to punish him. He was furious to the extreme. Previously, only 20-odd golden cores had died. That was nothing. However, Xiaoping's actions this time caused them to lose 20 planets. Moreover, they were not ordinary planets, but extremely famous commercial planets that were extremely prosperous. The value of one such commercial planet was comparable to thousands of ordinary planets. After all, ordinary planets were lacking in resources, so there was no value to speak of. Moreover, these planets had a large number of 10,000 poison sects resources, as well as a large number of manpower and elite disciples. However, they were all gone now, and nothing was left. It could be said that this time, the 10,000 poison sects' losses were extremely heavy, and it also made the 10,000 poison sect hate Xiaoping to the extreme. They wanted to get rid of him as soon as possible. Wuwudi, does our sect have such a legacy disciple? A Mystic Heaven sect elder was puzzled. He thought about it, but he could not seem to guess the identity of this disciple. He had never heard of this name before, but there was an inexplicable sense of familiarity, as if he had heard it somewhere before. No, a technique imparting elder frowned. I carefully checked the dossier just now. There's no disciple named Wuwudi in the Mystic Heaven sect's list of disciple for the past 5,000 years. Not to mention a legacy disciple. There isn't even an ordinary disciple. Could it be that the 10,000 poison sect is lying and wants to deal with our Mystic Heaven sect with a groundless accusation? Many elders clenched their fists, and a murderous look appeared in their eyes. Elder, another Mystic Heaven sect disciple suddenly exclaimed, I remember now. No wonder I felt this name was so familiar. Isn't Wuwudi the damn native who ruined our Mystic Heaven sect's plan and killed 12 of our Golden Core perfected masters? Could it be that this guy has already come out of the Fog Star field and done something that angered the 10,000 poison sect? And he even made our Mystic Heaven sect take the blame? As soon as this was said, many Mystic Heaven sect disciples were immediately shocked. It can't be. The Fog Star field is the secret realm of death. Even if that kid is a native of the Fog Star field, he might not be able to come out. He might even die of old age in there. That's right. Maybe it's someone with the same name. How could there be such a coincidence? No, that's not right. I think that guy is the native Wuwudi. Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence in this world? That guy hid his identity and said the Mystic Heaven sect's name to make us take the blame. There are so many saint-level sects in the universe. Why did that bastard say our Mystic Heaven sect instead of other sects? He clearly has a grudge against us and wants us to suffer the revenge of the 10,000 poison sect. Other than that native, there's no one else. F***CK, his 18 generations of ancestors. A native actually wants to make our Mystic Heaven sect take the blame. How dare he? He did such a heinous thing and wants our Mystic Heaven sect to take the blame for him? Don't even think about it. King Wuwudi. He doesn't do anything good all day. He actually caused us to go against the 10,000 poison sect. We'll kill him sooner or later. One by one, the mysterious Heaven sect disciples were furious. They didn't expect something like this to happen at all. It was really like they were living at home and the pot fell from the sky. They were simply unlucky. Who would have thought that a small native could cause so much trouble for their Mystic Heaven sect? Thinking of this, a Mystic Heaven sect elder immediately explained to the 10,000 poison sect, everyone from the 10,000 poison sect, this Wuwudi is not a disciple of our Mystic Heaven sect. You've misunderstood. We actually have a grudge with him too. A blood feud. F***CK, your hatred. You don't even know how to lie. You righteous sects are all full of lies. Who would believe what you say? You even said that Wuwudi is your enemy and that you have a blood feud with him. Why don't you say that you like to eat sex? Do you think I believe you then? That bastard must be a disciple of your Mystic Heaven sect. Stop pretending and hand him over immediately. Otherwise, your Mystic Heaven sect will never have a day of peace. Chapter 1506. You've really misunderstood. We have nothing to do with Wuwudi. In fact, we want to kill him even more than you do. We want to tear him apart. The faces of the Mystic Heaven sect disciples turn green. No one believed them, even if they were telling the truth. They wanted to explain that this matter had nothing to do with the Mystic Heaven sect. This was not the way to take the blame. Haha, if you really have a grudge against Wu-Woody, then hand him over. A 10,000 poison sect elder sneered and suggested a solution. As long as they handed over Wu-Woody, then everything could be discussed. The Mystic Heaven sect elder said, if we knew where that guy is, we would have killed him long ago. Why would we wait until now? You're making things difficult for us. He felt very helpless. Make things difficult for you. I knew you were lying. You righteous sects really know how to lie. You can't even believe punctuation. You're all hypocrites. We're clearly saying such things to protect Wu-Woody. Do you think we're stupid? The 10,000 poison sect disciples sneered. They thought that the Mystic Heaven sect must be lying. They pretended that Wu-Woody had a grudge against the Mystic Heaven sect and had even been expelled from the sect in order to secretly protect this kid. They said they didn't know where he was, but in fact, he was already hiding in the sect and being protected. We really have nothing to do with that *TCH. Why don't you believe us? Or rather, how can you believe us? The Mystic Heaven sect disciples were extremely sullen. They would never be able to clear their relationship even if they fell into the Yellow River. Even if they didn't have mud in their pants, they were still lying. It's easy to make us believe you. As long as you compensate us with a divine artifact, resources from 50 planets, and billions of pills, we'll believe that you're innocent. That's right. If you have this kind of sincerity, we'll believe you. Otherwise, it's impossible. Otherwise, you're lying and trying to protect Wu-Woody. The 10,000 poison sect disciples sneered. Their gazes were cold as they stated their conditions condescendingly. But when they heard these conditions, the faces of the Mystic Heaven sect disciples turned as black as charcoal. Their expressions were very unfriendly. Bullsh *T, a divine artifact, and you want resources from 50 planets? Why don't you just rob someone? I knew these demonic path disciples were greedy and insatiable. If you want to incriminate someone, you can always find a pretext. Even if this didn't happen, these demonic Tao bastards would still want to extort our mysterious heaven sect. Do they really think our mysterious heaven sect is a pushover that they can pinch as they please? Kill these bastards from the 10,000 poison sect. So what if Wu-Woody is one of us? Can you still bite our Black Heaven sect to death? Let me tell you, this is the Northern Universe, the territory of our Mystic Heaven sect. It's not your place to behave atrociously here. Elder, there's no need to waste words with these demons. Let's kill them all to scare the monkeys. Many of the mysterious Heaven sect disciples were furious. How were they supposed to negotiate? There was no way to negotiate at all. The other party was bullying them and wanted to extort a divine artifact from them. There was no way for them to back down. Even if they knew it was a scapegoat, they still had to bear it. This was because this was no longer a matter of taking the blame. They had clearly been targeted by the 10,000 poison sect and had found a scapegoat. If they didn't beat this group of demons until they wished they were dead, they wouldn't know how powerful the mysterious Heaven sect was. Obviously, this time the negotiation had broken down. The two great sects immediately went to war. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. There were countless casualties. Of course, this was the territory of the mysterious Heaven sect. There were as many experts as there were clouds. Even though the 10,000 poison sect had strange methods, countless people were killed. Not even a single soldier was wiped out. However, the mysterious Heaven sect wasn't much better. A large number of disciples were killed and injured. Because of this matter, the two great sects became mortal enemies. There was an irreconcilable hatred between them. However, they weren't stupid. The saints didn't make a move and maintained a certain degree of restraint. Otherwise, it would have been a war of extermination. They didn't let the war continue to escalate. The war between the mysterious Heaven sect and the 10,000 poison sect was also known by many sects in the Northern Universe. After all, the battle between two saint-level sects in the Northern Universe had a great impact. It was impossible for them not to pay attention. Xiuxiu and Su Mei, who were in Mingyue Pavilion, naturally knew about this matter. They also heard about the key figure, Wu-Woody. Suddenly, the two of them were speechless. They immediately knew that the bad guy had started to stir up trouble after leaving the dense fog star field. Previously, in the Cloud Realm, this guy wanted to see the world in chaos. After coming here, he actually became even worse. He began to provoke the saint-level sects, causing a storm and stirring up chaos in the world. His ability to stir up trouble was top-notch. They couldn't imagine how this scoundrel managed to do it. After all, how terrifying were the saint-level sects? It wasn't that no one had provoked them before. It was just that once they provoked them, they were killed and turned into dust. These people didn't have a chance to cause trouble at all. However, Xiaoping was different. Not only did he provoke them, but he was also able to escape smoothly. He wasn't killed by the powerful figures of the saint-level sections. This ability to escape was second to none. Fortunately, this guy was smart and didn't expose his identity. Otherwise, he would definitely be chased all over the universe. After a few days, the two great sects temporarily stopped fighting. They also began to calm down. In particular, the 10,000 Poison sect also began to know that Wu Wudi might not be a disciple of the mysterious Heaven sect. They were played by that be asterisk starred, so they caused trouble for the mysterious Heaven sect for no reason. After all, they had been fighting for such a long time. They weren't fools. Therefore, the two great sects began to track Wu Wudi's whereabouts. They wanted to know where this guy came from. In the end, they actually found some clues. It was said that Wu Wudi first appeared in the Eastern Universe. It seemed that he was in the star field ruled by the Lingyun sect and appeared in the Universe Virtual Network. *M in it. This Wu Wudi isn't a native of the dense fog star field. He's also someone who entered the dense fog star field. No way. Doesn't that mean he has the key to entering the dense fog star field? How'd he do it? I'm not sure, but this kid must have a big secret. *M in it. This guy's done a lot of evil in the Eastern Universe. As soon as he appeared, he deceived a large number of ordinary people and swindled their money. He's a super liar. There are countless people and forces who want to kill him. *M in it. Not only is he a big liar, but he also published a book, and it's extremely popular. It's known as the Treasure Book of Deception. Almost everyone in several star fields has a copy. Even a liar can publish a book. He's too shameless. Is he shameless? I've never seen such a shameless person. He even scams children's money. He's inhumane. No wonder he came to the Southern Universe to burn, kill, and pillage. He has a criminal record. He's been doing evil for a long time. Such an evil person is not only despised by the righteous sects, but even us demonic sects are ashamed to be associated with him. He has no bottom line. But where exactly is he from? The Eastern Universe, the Northern Universe, or the Southern Universe? I don't know. This Wu Wudi is too mysterious. Chapter 1507. The Mystic Heaven sect and the 10,000 Poison sect wanted to find Germa, the person in charge of the Universe Book Media Company in the Flowing Cloud Star Field. After all, this person had been in contact with Wu Wudi before and had even helped him publish books. Presumably, he knew Wu Wudi's identity. Unfortunately, Germa said that he did not know either. Even if the two sides were working together, Wu Wudi had hidden his identity. Even his bank account was in the Universe Bank. This bank's security level was extremely high. Even sages could not check it. Of course, the people from the two sects did not believe Germa's words and wanted to extort a confession. Unfortunately, Germa had long become a high-ranking member of a Universe Book Media Company. This company was extremely powerful, and Germa was also from a large family. He was not someone to be trifled with. In the end, the two sects could only give up helplessly. However, because of the actions of the Mystic Heaven sect and the 10,000 Poison sect, what Xiaoping had done in the Northern and Southern Universe spread throughout the Eastern Universe. Countless people knew about Wu Wudi, especially in the 5 major star fields ruled by the Soaring Cloud sect. Red Cloud Starfield, Blue Cloud Starfield, Azure Cloud Starfield, White Cloud Starfield, and Flowing Cloud Starfield. Damn, Wu Wudi has appeared again. Really? He's out again. Which victim was tricked this time? How much money did he scam? To be honest, although I don't know what happened, I think the victim shouldn't call the police. It's useless. This bastard has people above him. Everyone discussed. They were already used to Xiaoping's actions. Sometimes, when this fellow did not appear for a long time, they were not used to it. No, this time it's not as simple as someone being tricked. Do you know the 10,000 poison sect? Yes, it's that demonic sect that's good at using poison, the sect that everyone fears like a venomous snake. Now that Wu Wuti has offended them, even angering the 10,000 poison sect. He's wanted throughout the universe. Damn, this guy wants to go to heaven. It's fine if he offends ordinary people, but he actually dares to offend the 10,000 poison sect. He's even a lawless demon. Is he tired of living? It's said that that guy caused trouble in the southern universe and destroyed no less than 20 commercial planets. The number of deaths exceeded 3 trillion, causing the 10,000 Poison Clan to suffer heavy losses. He's listed as an eternal enemy who won't stop until he's dead. It's not just the 10,000 Poison Clan. I heard that the Black Heaven Clan, a Saint-class clan in the Northern Universe, has also fallen victim to this bastard. He ruined a major event for the Black Heaven Clan, causing the Black Heaven Clan to hate him to the bone. Isn't that right? This bastard is shameless to the extreme. He even pretended to be a disciple of the Mysterious Heaven Sect and made the Mysterious Heaven Sect take the blame. He even caused the Mysterious Heaven Sect and the 10,000 Poison Sect, two great sects, to fight, causing countless casualties. Damn it, did this guy change his profession? You're no longer a swindler, but a bandit, killing, arson, burning, and looting? I've long said that Wu Wuti has the potential to become a universe-level fugitive, but I didn't expect this day to come so soon. He's courting death by offending 2 saint-level sects at the same time. That guy is dead for sure. If he dares to stick his head out, he will die. Many forces said the same thing before, but they're still alive and kicking. That's right. That guy is a universe-level swindler. His concealment skills are top-notch. Who can catch him? Everyone discussed among themselves. They were also completely shocked by this matter. Originally, in their eyes, Wu Wuti was just a swindler who relied on his superb methods to deceive countless people. This swindler did not dare to offend the real big shots. Who would have thought that this guy would even offend the saint-level sects? He even used cunning methods to cause the 2 great sects to fight, causing countless deaths and injuries. He had done something earth-shattering. Now, this guy was no longer just a swindler. He was also a ferocious fugitive wanted by 2 saint-level sects at the same time. He was the kind who had killed tens of thousands of people. This news also spread throughout the Soaring Cloud sect's 5 major star regions. Most people knew about this matter. At this time, the saintess of the Soaring Cloud sect, Yi Mengyao, also heard the news. Senior sister, this damn swindler is so bold. He dares to offend 2 saint-level sects at the same time. Did he eat a bear's heart or a leopard's heart? Who gave him the courage to do so? Just thinking about it scares me to death. I feel like I won't be able to sleep well for the rest of my life if I become enemies with 2 saint-level sections. That's right. Even if there are saint-level sects behind him, he doesn't feel safe at all. Isn't that right? Especially the 10,000 Poison Sect. This demonic sect specializes in using poison. Their methods are strange, and they kill people without leaving a trace. If you're targeted by a disciple of such a sect, you will definitely die. I'm afraid that Wu Wuti is really dead this time. Many of the Soaring Cloud sect female disciples were discussing. They also knew about the feud between Yi Mengyao and Wu Wuti. They were also very concerned about this super swindler who was famous in the 5 major star regions. Dead? Yi Mengyao chuckled. Haha, good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. I'm afraid that even if you all die, that swindler will still be alive. That can't be. Does senior sister Yi think so highly of that swindler? A junior sister asked in confusion. It's not that I think highly of him. I just know myself and my enemy. Yi Mengyao sneered. That swindler never does anything he's not confident in. He's meticulous. So far, I haven't seen him suffer a loss. Instead, those who deal with him are all unlucky. Since that guy dares to do such a thing, he must be fully prepared. His identity will not be exposed, let alone the 10,000 Poison Sect and the Mystic Heaven Sect. Think about it. The universe is vast and boundless. If the Mystic Heaven Sect and the 10,000 Poison Sect don't have any clues and don't know each other's names and addresses. How can they find a stranger? Many of the junior sisters of the Soaring Cloud sect were speechless. It was indeed so. It seemed that the Mystic Heaven sect and the 10,000 Poison sect were murderous and arrogant, but in fact they were strong on the outside. They had no confidence in finding Wu Wuti. After all, the universe was so big. Just the Eastern universe alone had countless star regions. They would not be able to find each other, even if they hid in one of them. Sages were not omnipotent. And didn't you pay attention to some information? Yi Mingyao's beautiful eyes revealed a trace of coldness. That Wu Wuti is improving extremely quickly. 2 years ago, he hadn't even stepped into the Purple Mansion realm. Now, he can actually kill a Golden Core perfected master. The speed of his improvement is simply incredible. If he didn't hide his strength before and relied on his own strength to advance, he would simply be an unparalleled monster. If he was given more time to grow, I'm afraid it would be the Mystic Heaven sect and the 10,000 Poison sect's turn to be unlucky. It can't be. In just 2 years, he went from being an ant in the Purple Mansion realm to an expert who can kill a Golden Core perfected master. How can there be such a monster? I can't believe it. That's right. I'm more inclined to believe that Guy hid his strength and only revealed it now. Senior Sister Ye's guess is too frightening. It's simply unrealistic. Many of the female disciples of the Soaring Cloud sect felt that Yi Mengyao's guess was outrageous and unreliable. It would be great if I guessed wrong. Otherwise, if he was given more time to grow, I'm afraid not many people would be able to do anything to him. Yi Mengyao clenched her fist, and her beautiful eyes revealed a trace of light. Chapter 1508. What is this place? The stars passed through the black hole, and Xiaoping came out. He looked at his surroundings and found that he seemed to have come to a very mysterious spatial world. He found that this was not a continent, nor was it a planet, but a mystic world similar to a half-plane world. Such a place was very rare. Strange. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes and looked around. He found that he had come to a plain. There were weeds as tall as half a person everywhere, stretching as far as the eye could see. However, the air was filled with a strong aura of the abyss and hell. If this was the abyss world, it should be full of dark and corrosive power, and plants should not be able to survive. The problem was that the plants in this place were lush and lush. At the same time, this place also exuded infinite vitality. This kind of spatial world where death and vitality existed at the same time was simply unheard of and unseen. Corinne, do you know where this place is? Xiaoping asked. He could feel that after entering this mystic world, the bloodline in his body was stirring, seemingly resonating with it. The environment here was very beneficial to him. Corinne shook his head. I'm not sure. Although similar half-planes are rare, there are still many of them in the entire universe. There are even more strange mystic worlds. I don't know what this place is, but the abyss aura in this place is so dense. It might have been invaded by the power of the abyss before. It said its guess. There's such a thing. Xiaoping touched his chin, his eyes shining. If this place had been invaded by the power of the abyss before, perhaps this place had a treasure that would be of great benefit to his cultivation. Master, there seems to be an aura of life 300 miles ahead. It might be a creature of this mystic world, but it doesn't seem very strong. The strongest is probably only at the divine realm. The Green Ox's voice was also transmitted to Xiaoping's mind. Then let's go and take a look. Xiaoping immediately decided to make contact with this group of creatures. Now that he was skilled and bold, he was not afraid of the creatures living in this mystic world. If there was anything he needed to know, he could just go up and ask. Whoosh! His figure flickered and turned into a Kuan Peng, soaring through the clouds. After a few breaths, he flew 300 miles and soon arrived at the destination that the Green Ox mentioned. Xiaoping looked down from above and immediately saw a large group of people coming from the distance. They seemed to be humans, but they were dressed in simple and unadorned clothing, as if they were people from ancient times. Some wore long robes, some wore steel armor, and some held steel swords. There was also a large number of carriages with many goods on them. It looked like a caravan. There were guards and merchants among them, and they looked around vigilantly. They did not relax for even a moment, as if there was a great danger hidden in this grassland. Seeing this, Xiaoping immediately descended and appeared in front of the group. Blah blah. When this group of people saw Xiaoping appear, they immediately acted as if they were facing a great enemy. They looked nervous and shouted loudly. Some of them raised their spears, broadswords, swords, and longbows, immediately forming a guard formation. They roared at Xiaoping, as if warning him not to approach, or else they would serve him with swords and sabers. But even so, they did not attack first, as if they did not dare to attack first. What are they talking about? Xiaoping was confused. This group of humans were speaking the dialect of this world, not the universal language, nor the language of Yanhuang's star, but another indigenous language. The Green Ox and Corinne also couldn't understand. After all, there are hundreds of millions of races in the universe, countless planets, and countless types of languages. If the pronunciation is a little different, it will make a world of difference. Even saints dare not say that they are proficient in the language of the entire universe. It's a bit troublesome. If I can't understand what these people are saying, doesn't that mean I can't find out the intelligence of this world? Xiaoping thought for a while and remembered the omnipotent system and immediately asked, "System, do you have a way to translate the language of the creatures in this world?" "That's simple," the system replied. "Translating the language of this secret world only requires 1,000 hatred points, but the system recommends that the host buy a universal translation fruit, which is worth 1 billion hatred points. As long as you take this fruit, no matter how remote the language is, within 100 breaths, the host can automatically learn the language of the other party." So powerful? But isn't 1 billion hatred points too expensive? "This is just a translation," Xiaoping said. "No, it's not expensive at all. Language can be said to be one of the most important skills in the universe. Without language communication, you can't even know what the other party is saying, which will cause countless troubles." The system said, "Now, as long as you take a universal translation fruit, you could be proficient in the language of all races of the heavens. It is estimated that even a saint would think of it, which will also bring great convenience to the host." Xiaoping also admitted that if he could learn the language of all races of the heavens in an instant, it would be a powerful ability. The universal translation fruit can be called a kind of heaven and earth strange fruit. If you want to walk in every corner of the universe and communicate with all races, it is absolutely impossible not to understand each other's language. "Okay, exchange." Thinking of this, Xiaoping immediately chose to exchange. Whoosh! As soon as his voice fell, the system immediately deducted 1 billion hatred points from Xiaoping, leaving only 4 billion hatred points. Immediately, a crystal-like fruit fell into Xiaoping's hands. With a smacking sound, Xiaoping immediately ate the fruit without saying a word. It melted in his mouth and turned into a stream of energy that quickly poured into the depths of his brain. Immediately, he felt a mysterious crystal talisman appear in his mind in an instant, engraved into the depths of his soul. And these creatures of the secret realm world were still shouting. Their voices also turned into waves of sound, transmitted into the depths of his brain, analyzed and deconstructed by the crystal talisman. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 10 breaths passed. Boom! Xiaoping's mind shook. The original voices and language of these creatures had now become easy to understand, like the language of Yanhuang planet, penetrating into the depths of his soul. He also immediately understood what these people were shouting. Although the introduction said that it could deconstruct the language of all races of the heavens within 100 breaths, a few breaths were enough for the simpler language, and 100 breaths were needed for the difficult language. "Stranger, leave quickly. This is the storm caravan. If you dare to come within 100 meters of the caravan, kill without mercy. You're not welcome here. I will only give you 10 breaths to think about it. If you still dare to come closer, we will defend ourselves." One by one, the guards roared, very vigilant and murderous towards Xiaoping. The people of the caravan were terrified, afraid that something bad would happen, and huddled together. Hello, everyone. Chapter 1509. Damn you. Don't be so cheeky. The leader of the guards did not appreciate it and shouted, "Stranger, leave immediately. You are not allowed to step within 10 meters of the Tempest caravan, or you will die for sure. Do you understand?" Many of the guards aimed their longbows at Xia Ping with a murderous aura. "I have no ill intentions. I just want to ask you one thing. If I'm done, I might leave." Xia Ping spread his hands to show that he had no ill intentions. "Get out now. Leave without stopping." "Stranger, we have nothing to answer. We don't have time for that. You have 3 breaths of time to leave, or we will attack immediately, regardless of life or death." The guards shouted. Their attitudes were very bad, and their eyes were fierce. They did not want to listen to anything Xia Ping had to say, nor did they want to answer any of his questions. Before they could finish, Xia Ping suddenly stepped forward and stomped on the ground. A terrifying power came from his body, like a divine elephant coming out of the mountains. Dong! The power of this stomp was like billions of tons of explosives exploding at the same time. With a cracking sound, a terrifying crack immediately appeared, stretching for dozens of kilometers, almost splitting the land in half. An earthquake with a magnitude of 7 or 8 occurred within a radius of hundreds of kilometers. The Tempest caravan people were scared half to death, peeing their pants and falling to the ground. The horses were so scared that they wanted to break free and run in all directions. The group of arrogant and despotic guards were so scared that their faces turned ashen. Their legs were trembling, and they looked at Xia Ping as if they had seen a ghost. There was no longer any arrogance in their eyes. They could not imagine that if Xia Ping targeted them, most of them would be killed in an instant. They would not even have the strength to struggle. "Can you talk properly now?" Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, looking at the group indifferently. A powerful pressure came from his body, like a mountain crushing down on everyone. With a thud, the guards knelt on the ground, kowtowing as if they were pounding garlic. They were as obedient as chickens. "Sir, we are sorry. Our attitude was a bit arrogant just now. Please spare our lowly lives. We won't do it again. We really won't do it again. Sir, we will answer whatever you want to ask. We guarantee that we will tell you everything in detail. We will tell you everything we know. If we dare to hide anything, let the heavens strike us with lightning. You are our father. We will do whatever you want us to do." The guards said flatteringly, as if they were slaves, bowing and scraping. They were all shameless, directly calling him father. All of them swore to the heavens that they would tell him everything without hiding anything. Just now, Xia Ping's ferocious might have scared them out of their wits. No matter how many lives you had, it wouldn't be enough to fight against such a fiendish god. "I'm trying to give you face, but you don't want it. I was just talking to you guys nicely just now, but all of you are acting like you're $250. Now you know how powerful I am." Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back. It seems like the universal translation fruit is fake. Only fists can make people speak properly. This is a principle that applies everywhere. He was very emotional. He reckoned that only fists were the true universal translator. If they didn't listen, he would beat them up. If they always listened to him, he could even make them take the initiative to learn his language. The Tempest caravan's people were extremely sullen, but they had no choice but to lower their heads. Facing such a terrifying, fiendish god, if they dared to say anything arrogant, they would probably be beaten half to death. Xia Ping wanted to ask about this mystic realm, but all of a sudden, he sensed a monstrous killing intent emanating from the originally peaceful grassland, blanketing the surroundings. This killing intent was extremely evil, as if it contained deep malice. It seeped into one's soul, making one shudder. Whoosh! Whoosh! In an instant, giant snakes attacked from all directions. Each of them was dozens of feet long, completely black and covered in black scales. They flicked their tongues from time to time. The most terrifying thing was that their pupils were gray and emitted a cursed aura. Wherever they passed, stones, soil, weeds, and everything else turned to stone. "It's over, it's all over. These are petrified demon snakes. I didn't expect to be so unlucky to meet the overlords of the grassland. We will all die here today. Run, run quickly. If we are targeted by these petrified demon snakes, We will all be petrified and become their food. How do we run? Just wait for death. We have been targeted by these snakes for a long time. If they surround us from all directions, we will die for sure. There is no way to escape. Why are there so many petrified demon snakes all of a sudden? What happened? The Tempest Caravan's people were in despair. There were hundreds and thousands of petrified demon snakes coming from all directions. It was like an army coming to crush them. There were probably nothing in front of these petrified demon snakes, who could eat them however they wanted. Normally, a dozen petrified demon snakes would be enough to kill them all. Now that there were thousands of them, they were dead for sure. Petrified demon snakes? Are these creatures from the abyss world? Xiaoping squinted, his divine sense sensing the aura of these petrified demon snakes. These creatures were filled with a thick abyss aura, but they were different from the creatures of the abyss world. Because the abyss world was extremely evil, their minds were filled with killing and chaos. They were completely irrational. Although these creatures were also filled with killing, there was some rationality and intelligence in their frenzy. Human. This human's blood is as strong as the sun. He is a top-grade food. I didn't think there would be a human like this. How strange. It doesn't matter how he appeared. If we eat him, we will definitely evolve. Luck. This is our luck. Let's go together, tear him apart, and devour him. One by one, the petrified demon snakes roared. They all stared at Xiaoping. Xiaoping's actions had completely awakened them from their slumber. They immediately sensed Xiaoping's thick blood. To them, this was no less than Tripitaka's meat. One bite could give them thousands of years of cultivation. One could imagine how crazy these petrified demon snakes were. They had come out of their nest to divide and eat Xiaoping. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. These petrified demon snakes were crazy. They shot out like arrows, covering the sky and covering the earth. A bunch of stupid snakes wants to eat me? You don't know your place. Xiaoping stepped forward. His body contained a unique breathing technique. It was the divine elephant breathing technique. Vaguely, the spiritual energy of the world twisted, as if a divine elephant was surging out of his body. Chapter 15:10. Roar. Xiaoping punched out. The pressure was shocking, as if the air had been turned into a sheet of white paper. It was as if a divine elephant was roaring, suppressing all gods and demons. With a boom, the dozen petrified snakes in front of him exploded into pieces, turning into minced meat. They didn't even have time to scream before they were killed by a single punch. Oh my God! The people of the Tempest Caravan were all dumbfounded. Their legs were shaking because this scene was too shocking, too bloody, and too shocking. In their eyes, each petrified snake was dozens of feet long. They were huge monsters, and if they stood up, they would be like small mountains that were too high to climb. When these giant snakes attacked, thousands of people would die. They were monsters that could destroy cities. But such a shocking giant snake had been killed with a single punch. More than a dozen died instantly, turning into minced meat. How could they not be shocked? Bang! Xiaoping punched out again. The wind from his fist was like a roaring flood dragon. This was pure power that could conquer anything. Immediately, dozens of petrified, demonic snakes were smashed to pieces. With a crash, a rain of blood fell from the sky and dyed the area red. The bodies of these petrified snakes were strong, like monsters. They also had scales that were as hard as mica steel. They had the defense of an ordinary spaceship, and even laser guns couldn't penetrate them. With this kind of defense, they were invincible. Who knew how many creatures they could kill? The humans in this secret plane were no match for these monsters. Once they appeared, there would be countless deaths and injuries. But in the face of Xiaoping's terrifying power, their bodies were as weak as babies. They were not much stronger than tofu. This completely enraged the group of petrified snakes. They were all enraged, and their ferocious nature was aroused. Damned human! How dare you kill my people? Impossible! How can a puny human have such power? Petrify him! Immediately petrify him and dismember him. The petrified snakes roared. Swastikas appeared in the depths of their eyes, spinning continuously. Then, they exploded with a gray aura. This was the power of the curse of petrification. If one was touched by this gray aura, they would immediately be petrified into stone. This was the power of the curse, and it was almost impossible to resist. It was because of the existence of this power that these petrified demon snakes were able to become the overlords of the grasslands. It was said that they had once attacked a human city, and in just an hour, millions of humans in the city had been turned into stone statues. Not a single life could be found, and they had been completely wiped out. Crash, a sphere of gray energy, swept over like a tornado. Along the way, the great earth, grassland, rocks, and other things were all petrified, cursed, turning into stone. Petrification? Curse. Too weak. Xiaoping maintained his unique breathing. His qi and blood were boiling in his body, and there seemed to be a divine elephant awakening in the depths of his body, as if it had awakened all kinds of miracles of the divine elephant. When this breathing technique was cultivated to a higher level, all kinds of mysterious and tyrannical powers of the divine elephant would appear in his body, and he would slowly possess the true power of the divine elephant. Under the support of this power, he felt that the power of the curse was too weak. It was not qualified to deal with him at all. It was like an ant trying to shake a tree. Invulnerable. The power of the divine elephant surged in Xiaoping's body. It was overbearing, powerful, supreme, noble, and ancient. This power had a strong, repelling nature, and any negative power would be instantly expelled. Bang! This punch was like a divine elephant raising its trunk, bombarding the gray aura. In an instant, the gray aura turned into powder and was completely destroyed. It seemed that this punch could even shatter atoms, and it had the power to shatter the vacuum. Immediately, over 100 petrified demon snakes could not dodge in time. Their bodies immediately exploded, and they were completely blown up. Their huge bodies were turned into meat paste, splattering on the ground. Even the ground was blasted into a crater with a diameter of more than 10 kilometers. It was as if a nuclear bomb had exploded here. The rumbling sound caused intense tremors in a radius of hundreds of miles, and soil flew everywhere. Monster? Is he still human? Even the power of petrification has no effect on him. Where did this expert come from? I can't believe we dared to shout at such a big shot before. Now that I think about it, we were really brave. We didn't want to live anymore. He's a beast in human form. Those petrified demon snakes are so terrifying. Every single one of them has the power of thousands of kilograms. Just a little bit of them can overturn rivers and seas, and the ground will shake. But they were all blown up by a punch from Master. This is a massacre. How is this a battle? This is a one-sided massacre. The people of the Windstorm Caravan were all trembling. They had never seen such a terrifying expert who killed the petrified demon snakes like killing chickens. It was as if they were watching the birth of a legend. The petrified demon snakes were terrified. They were the overlords of the grasslands, and they were invincible. Normally, a small human would only be food for them, and they would kill him in an instant and turn him into food. But what was going on? Their bodies, which were strong enough to block cannonballs and swords, had been torn apart and blown up so easily. Even their ability to petrify was ignored by this person, and they were all crushed by a punch. The power that they were so proud of had been completely useless. Against this human, they were as weak as chickens. Whoosh! Xiaoping stepped forward, fighting against the petrified demon snakes. But the petrified demon snakes were terrified. There was only one person, and yet they felt as if they had been surrounded. Despite their numbers, they did not feel safe at all. Wait, human, we can negotiate. If we keep fighting, both sides will definitely suffer losses. Damned human. Stop. I told you to stop, but you still dare to attack? You're forcing our hand. Let's go all out. Let's go all out against this human. He wants us to die, so we won't let him have an easy time. Even if he dies, we'll bite off a piece of his flesh. No, don't. Arg, who's the monster here? The petrified demon snakes roared, then screamed, and then wailed in grief and terror. They tried to resist, but this human was too terrifying. With a single punch, their bodies were crushed like tofu. Their petrifying power and toxic power were all useless. They were all crushed by a single punch. Dong! 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 The sound of war drums rang out from beneath the grasslands. Blood roiled, and an hour later, the bodies of the petrified demon snakes were reduced to minced meat. Chapter 15:11. 2 hours later. At this moment, a huge grill had been erected on the grassland, and the petrified demon snakes were all skewered on it. The flames were spreading, and the snakes were being roasted. The surrounding area was filled with the fragrance of roasted meat. The meat was roasted until it was golden yellow, and the fragrance assailed the nostrils. Many Storm Caravan members were busy roasting the petrified snakes. "Sir, the petrified snakes are done." Storm Caravan leader Meng Nan ran to Xia Ping's side. He was 2 meters tall and had muscles all over his body. He looked very tough, but now he was fawning like a slave. But the others didn't look down on Meng Nan because Xia Ping was too valiant. There were more than 1,000 petrified devil snakes in the prairie, but they were all killed by Xia Ping. It could be said that most of the petrified snakes on the plains have been wiped out. Facing such a ferocious person, it was normal to be humble. Not bad. Xia Ping was very satisfied and started to eat the petrified demon snakes. After fighting, he was also extremely hungry. Under the dumbfounded eyes of Meng Nan and the others, he began his journey of devouring the petrified demonic snake. Big chunks of snake meat were eaten into his stomach. The petrified snake meat contained boundless energy. After entering Xia Ping's stomach, it was immediately digested by the solar furnace, turning into pure energy that flowed into his limbs. Rumble, Xia Ping felt his body warm, and his blood boiled like lava. With the help of the petrified snakes, the golden crow of hell cells in his body had actually awakened. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 100,000. In the end, after eating thousands of petrified demonic snakes, he had awakened 500,000 golden crow hell cells in his body. The golden crow of hell bloodline in his body had also been strengthened, and his power was rising. His body was surrounded by red light, shining like a sun. At the same time, his spiritual power had increased, and he was one step closer to the pinnacle of the true fire realm. The Storm Caravan members all retreated a few hundred meters in fear, not daring to get close to Xia Ping. The aura was too hot, as if they were in a volcano. If they got too close, they would be scalded by this scorching aura. The weeds on the ground would be burned by this aura and turn into ashes. Amazing! The group of people widened their eyes in shock. They felt that Xia Ping's stomach was a bottomless pit. That was over 1,000 petrified demonic snakes. That was probably enough food to feed a town's residents for a month. Now, he had finished all of them in a single meal. His appetite was frightening. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Xia Ping turned around and asked the group of people, "All right, tell me about your origins. Where are you from? What are you doing here?" "Yes, my lord. We are a caravan from the nearby Green Sun City." The leader of the Windstorm Caravan, Meng Nan, immediately said, "We left Green Sun City this time in order to go to Dongta Town. It said that someone in that town obtained a large amount of underworld stones. Therefore, we immediately purchased a large number of supplies and planned to head to Dongta Town to trade with the local residents. We hope to be able to exchange for a large number of nether stones and make a fortune." Nether stone. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes. He continued to ask and finally understood some information about this arcane realm. In this arcane realm, there seemed to be no country. It was all centered around a single city with a radius of thousands of miles. It was considered a region. These people belonged to the sphere of influence of Green Sun City. However, because this world was very vast, they did not know much about other places. They only knew about the area around Green Sun City. Moreover, they could not be blamed for being ignorant. This world was just too dangerous. It was a world where fiendish demons ran amok. 10,000 years ago, this world was originally very ordinary. However, fiendish demons suddenly appeared in this world and ran amok everywhere. With their powerful strength and strange abilities, they began to rule the entire world. Countless humans were unable to resist the tyrannical fiendish demons, and were slaughtered one after another. Although after 10,000 years of resistance, humans had built cities to protect themselves, and countless human heroes had appeared, the fiendish demons still held the absolute advantage. Humans were slaughtered like ants. Therefore, the humans in this world led a miserable life. If they were not careful, they would be killed and eaten by powerful fiendish demons. From time to time, they would hear of cities' humans being eaten by a great fiendish demon and turned into food. Therefore, this world was filled with danger. It was extremely difficult for ordinary people to travel more than 100 miles. Once they encountered a fiendish demon, they would undoubtedly die. Where did the fiendish demons appear from? Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. He felt that the fiendish demons would not appear for no reason. That we do not know. After all, our status is very low. We do not know much about confidential information, Storm Caravan leader Meng Nan said shamefully, indicating that he did not know. Xiaoping nodded. He was not disappointed. After all, such matters were only known by the upper echelons. It seemed like he could only learn more by heading to Green Sun City. By the way, what is a nether stone? Xiaoping continued asking. A nether stone is an energy stone that contains boundless nether power. It is a product of the fiendish demons appearing in this world. It is an excellent treasure for demon annihilators that can advance their cultivation. Meng then explained. Xiaoping knew that warriors in this world were known as demon annihilators. They specialized in killing fiendish demons. However, nether stones are not only beneficial to us humans. To fiendish demons and even dark ghosts, they are superior treasures. Once they encounter one, they will definitely fight over it. Mengnan said solemnly. Dark ghosts? What kind of monsters are they? Xiaoping looked at Mengnan. Dark ghosts are monsters even more terrifying than fiendish demons. They are ghosts, monsters condensed from vengeful souls. They are formless, and they are skilled in illusions and mental attacks that directly target the soul. Thinking of dark ghosts, Meng Nan's body trembled. Ordinary demon annihilators or humans are completely helpless against dark ghosts. Only demon annihilators with a certain level of mental power can destroy dark ghosts. Otherwise, ordinary people will die without a doubt. Moreover, dark ghosts can possess humans and take over their bodies. They can become human spies and stealthily steal information from humans. In the past wars between humans and fiendish demons, it was precisely because of dark ghosts that the humans suffered heavy losses. It can be said that dark ghosts are the greatest enemy of the human race. They are truly terrifying monsters. Xiaoping's eyes flashed. According to Meng Nan's description, dark ghosts and heavenly demons seemed to be the same, but the two were fundamentally different. Heavenly demons were formed from a thought. They were the manifestation of a demonic will, the will of the abyss. But dark ghosts were different. They were formed from vengeful souls. In essence, they were monsters that would only be born after the deaths of all living beings. Most importantly, dark ghosts should not have appeared in the human world. These monsters should have stayed in the infernal realm. Chapter 15:12. After asking Meng Nan a few more questions, Xiaoping realized that Meng Nan really did not know much, so he had to give up. He then decided to follow the storm caravan for the time being. He wanted to learn more about this world, and he also wanted to go to Qingyang City. Presumably, the people in the city would know more. If his guess was right, then this world might be connected to hell. In that case, he might have a chance to enter hell and see the real hell. For him, hell was a place with countless opportunities. If he had the chance to enter, he would definitely gain endless benefits. He would quickly improve his cultivation, and the Hell Golden Crow bloodline in his body would evolve even faster. Hearing that Xiaoping wanted to temporarily follow the storm caravan, Meng Nan and the others were excited. With such a powerful demon destroyer by their side, their trip would be worry-free. After all, buying the Dark Stone was an extremely dangerous act. Once the aura of the Dark Stone was leaked, it would most likely attract countless demons. At that time, they would definitely suffer heavy casualties. It was even possible that they would all be killed. But if they succeeded, they would also make a lot of money. Strange, why would Master Xia ask about this? This should be common knowledge. is indeed strange. It seems like Master Xia does not know the common knowledge of this world. Shut up immediately. Do you want to die? How dare you speculate about Master Xia? Whatever Master Xia wants to ask, we will answer. Don't think too much about other things. The more you know, the faster you die. Don't you understand this? That's right. Let's not get too involved in this matter. Such a big shot's business is not something we small people can understand. Stop talking about it. Yes, Master. One by one, the people of the storm caravan fell silent. They did not dare to ask any more questions. They were also afraid that if their suspicions were known by Xia Ping, they would not have a good ending. The maxim that curiosity killed the cat was not limited to planet Yinhuang. It was the same everywhere in the universe. The storm caravan traveled all the way through grasslands, forests, and valleys. After a day and a night, they finally arrived at their destination, Dongtu Town. Along the way, they did not encounter many demons. Because they had killed more than 1,000 petrified demon snakes, their bodies were filled with a thick aura of death. This caused the surrounding fiendish demons to be extremely frightened, not daring to act rashly. Once they sensed the group's aura, most of the demons retreated. This also made the journey extremely safe. They did not encounter any accidents and arrived at their destination easily. This made the members of the storm caravan extremely happy. They had never heard of such a safe journey. It was many times safer than staying in Qingyang City. At this moment, a group of people stood at the entrance of a small town to welcome them. Welcome, everyone from the storm caravan. I am Zheng Ming, the mayor of Dongtu Town. Welcome to Dongtu Town. An old man in a black robe appeared in front of everyone with a kind smile. Meng Nan and the others have never encountered such a scene. Being welcomed by the residents of a small town, they suddenly felt a little light. However, when they saw the expressionless Xia Ping at the side, they immediately restrained themselves and became very serious. They couldn't be disrespectful in front of such a big shot and get carried away. Ahem. Meng Nan coughed and said, Mayor, you are too polite. This time, we are only here to trade for the Death Stone. I wonder where it is. Let's trade quickly. Time is precious. He waved his hand and went straight to the point. Well, I was planning to hold a welcoming party. Are you guys going to trade so soon? Our town's food is excellent, and the women are even more beautiful. Don't you guys want to stay longer? Mayor Zheng Ming stroked his white beard and smiled. Meng Nan and the others' eyes lit up. Indeed, there were many gorgeously dressed women in the crowd. All of them were bashful and looked very tempting. They couldn't suppress the desire in their bodies. If they stayed in this small town for a night, they could not only enjoy delicious food, but also a night of endless pleasure. Meng Nan and the others were still hesitant. They looked at Xia Ping from time to time because they were worried that their actions would anger Xia Ping, which would lead to an unexpected disaster. If he could easily kill more than 1,000 petrified demon snakes, then it wouldn't be difficult for him to kill them. Mayor Zheng Ming also saw the gazes of the storm caravan. He immediately knew that the real owner of this caravan was this ordinary-looking young man. He immediately stepped forward and said, Little brother, no need. We'll leave after the trade. Take out the nether stone immediately. Don't talk nonsense. Xia Ping said lightly, his tone indifferent. Mayor Zheng Ming didn't expect Xia Ping's attitude to be so bad. Instantly, he was very dissatisfied and unhappy. His face was cloudy, but he thought of something and endured it. We could trade the nether stone at any time, but if I don't entertain you guys, I'm afraid others will think that I'm a town that doesn't know how to entertain guests. This is a disgrace. Zheng Ming revealed a sorrowful look. Lord Xia, Meng Nan, and the others also seemed to be reluctant to do so. They looked at Xia Ping with a pleading look. Sigh, I didn't want to argue with you guys, but I didn't expect you to provoke me. Xia Ping sighed and stared at Mayor Zheng Ming. Stop pretending. You can't hide your evil spirit aura at all. Do you think I haven't discovered it? His eyes revealed a trace of fierceness. Lord, this old man doesn't quite understand what you mean. Mayor Zheng Ming said with a fake smile. Well, I think that if it's like this, you should understand what I mean. As soon as his voice fell, Xia Ping instantly attacked and punched the air. Boom! Mayor Zheng Ming's body was immediately punched. His body immediately exploded and split into pieces, turning into minced meat. Lord Xia, Meng Nan, and the others were shocked. They didn't expect Xia Ping to kill the mayor without saying a word. He killed the mayor of this small town with a single punch. But what made them even more shocked was that when Mayor Zheng Ming died, a black shadow appeared in his place, as if it was condensed from fog. This black fog emitted evil, violent, murderous, cold, and other auras. Another aura spread out, and the ground immediately froze. The cold was bone-piercing, making people shiver. It was clearly daytime, but everyone felt as if they had fallen into an endless night, into an icy hell. Dark ghost? This is a dark ghost. The mayor has been possessed by a dark ghost. Chapter 15:13. Human, how did you discover me? My aura should have been perfectly concealed. The dark ghost floated in the air, looking at Xia Ping in confusion. It had believed that it had possessed a human and concealed its aura flawlessly. It should have been impossible for a human to discover it. However, the human in front of it had seen through its disguise in an instant, which really puzzled it. Perfect. Hearing this, Xia Ping immediately laughed. In my eyes, the ghostly energy on your body is like the sun in the night. No matter how you hide it, you can't hide it. In front of his golden crow eye of hell, this dark ghost's little trick was completely useless. And right now, the entire town is filled with ghostly energy. You probably killed all the humans in this town. Xia Ping narrowed his eyes and looked dangerously at this group of people. No, it should be a group of dark ghosts. No way. There were 3,000 people in Donna Town, but they all died? They were all killed by dark ghosts. Then what's going on with this group of people? Have they all been possessed by dark ghosts? Damn it, 3,000 ordinary people were killed by these dark ghosts just like that. Not a single one survived. Meng Nan and the others were shocked, hatred, sorrow, and other emotions appearing in the depths of their eyes. Endless rage brewed in their hearts. Although they had never met the people of this town, they were all humans. But now they had all been killed by this group of dark ghosts. The elderly, the children, and the women had not been spared. They couldn't help but feel a trace of sympathy for the loss of their own kind. They even felt a kind of heartfelt anger. They wanted nothing more than to kill all these dark ghosts and take revenge. Interesting human. As expected, you discovered us. Puny humans, they were just food. So what if they were killed? These humans are quite bold. They dare to steal the dark stones of my dark ghost race. This is a crime punishable by death. Of course, their entire clan must be executed. Jija, but we didn't let them die so easily. We tortured these human souls for 10 days and 10 nights, bit by bit, bit by bit. Only then did they collapse and die. I reckon they also tasted what is called a life worse than death. The pain, howls, and despair of humans are truly the best food for us nether ghosts. Every time I hear these sounds of despair, my entire body feels happy and excited. The speed at which you kill people is simply too fast. In my opinion, it's best to breed them and treat them like pigs. Kill them as they grow. That's the way to sustainable development. I'm sorry, I really can't stand it anymore. When I see these cute, ignorant, and weak humans, I can't help but want to torture and kill them. I want to hear their cries of despair. Immediately, the townspeople who had lined the streets to welcome him instantly revealed their true colors. Their bodies exuded an eerie, ghostly aura, instantly turning the town into a terrifying ghostly realm. They laughed cruelly, releasing a terrifying aura. The underworld ghosts hiding around the town all appeared, at least 100 of them. Meng Nan and the others were terrified. They felt like they were being stared at by a terrifying monster. A terrifying aura was coming from all directions, sealing the void. There was no way to escape. Their bodies were trembling. They had never seen so many nether ghosts in their lives. It had to be known that nether ghosts were even more terrifying than demons. They were formless and specialized in attacking the souls of humans. They could silently kill humans and destroy their souls. In fact, they could even take over human bodies and cause great chaos. However, these nether ghosts ignored Meng Nan and the others. Instead, they stared at Xia Ping, because Xia Ping was the greatest threat among these humans. As long as they got rid of this brat, the other humans were just ants that they could kill with a wave of their hands. Food? You dare to treat humans as food? You're too bold. It seems you don't know what true terror is. Xia Ping stared at these nether ghosts, his body exuding a terrifying killing intent. It's one thing for you to stay in the infernal realm, but you actually dare to come to the human realm and cause trouble? It seems you want your souls to be destroyed. Haha, this human is joking. This human wants to destroy our souls? How laughable. This is the greatest joke of the year for the nether ghost race. I can laugh for an entire year. Kiki, I can't control myself anymore. I'm going to kill him now, destroy his soul, and devour his flesh. Die, human. The nether ghosts cackled. They instantly attacked, wailing like ghosts and howling like wolves as they charged at Xia Ping. A terrifying black aura surged over, instantly covering Xia Ping's body. They scrambled over each other as if they were fighting over food, wanting to tear apart Xia Ping's soul and body. Xia Ping immediately felt a bone-chilling aura spread through his body. This aura seemed to come from the netherworld. It was so cold that even his bones were trembling. More importantly, these nether ghosts let out bewildering cries that confused his mind. It was as if they wanted his soul to fall into the boundless infernal realm, into the darkness, and be devoured clean. Xia Ping had to admit that these nether ghosts were truly terrifying. If it weren't for the fact that his divine sense was extremely terrifying, far surpassing that of other martial artists of the same level, he probably wouldn't have been able to block these nether ghost attacks. If an ordinary martial artist encountered these nether ghosts, their souls would probably be destroyed in an instant and their bodies would be taken over. It wasn't without reason that these nether ghosts were so arrogant. Unfortunately, they had found the wrong opponent. Dong! Xia Ping suddenly attacked, instantly grabbing a nether ghost that was trying to approach him. He grabbed it by the neck and lifted it up like he was grabbing a chicken. The nether ghost was shocked and incredulous. How is this possible? I am a nether ghost, invisible and formless. How can a puny human grab me? Just how? It struggled, but the massive power of this hand made it impossible for it to break free. Ordinary martial artists wouldn't even be able to touch its body, but this human was able to grab its body and grab its neck like he was grabbing a chicken. It was inconceivable. Boom! Xia Ping didn't waste any words with it. The golden crow of hell bloodline surged in his body. A ball of golden crow hell flames appeared in his hand and instantly covered its entire body. Ah! The nether ghost immediately let out a miserable scream, one that was even more miserable than a dying pig. This was because the power of these flames had seeped into its soul, destroying it and destroying its very foundation. It had never seen or heard of such pain before. Save me, save me, save me. Chapter 15:14. When the dark ghost died, it began to emit gray-white streams of energy. Xia Ping felt his soul-devouring ability activate, creating a whirlpool that instantly devoured the gray-white streams of energy. Next, he sensed his soul growing stronger and his divine sense growing stronger. Even some of the hell golden crow cells in his body had been unsealed, and his strength was rising. Without a doubt, killing these dark ghosts was incredibly beneficial to him. He could devour the dissipating spiritual energy of these dead dark ghosts and use it to strengthen his own soul. To Xia Ping, these dark ghosts were like a great tonic. When he thought of this, he looked at these dark ghosts with an even more fervent gaze, as if they were delicious food. Heavens, he killed a dark ghost with his bare hands? They couldn't fight back at all. Meng Nan and the others were dumbfounded. Xia Ping's ability to easily kill over 1,000 petrified demon snakes was already terrifying enough, but this dark ghost, which represented even greater terror, had been easily killed by this man, instantly burned to death and turned to ash. They had never heard of such a method of killing dark ghosts. If humans had such a method to deal with dark ghosts, they wouldn't need to fear these monsters. Damn, what kind of flame is this? Why can it injure us, dark ghosts? The dark ghosts were shocked and fearful. They were used to being arrogant and domineering in this world. There was not much power that could harm them. But now, there was a flame that could instantly burn them to death. This power was simply astonishing. They could sense that this flame posed a great threat to them. But this was to be expected. This flame was the Hell Golden Crow's flame, born from the most fundamental energy of hell. It contained the power to destroy gods and demons. A trifling dark ghost wanted to block this flame. It was a pipe dream. Do you want to know why? Come, I'll tell you slowly. Xiaoping's eyes flashed with a cold light. He reached out with his hand, creating a terrifying whirlpool that instantly caught another dark ghost. Divine sense ropes appeared, binding its body like a seal. No, no, no. Save me, save me. The nether ghost let out a miserable scream, terrified beyond belief. With a boom, before the other dark ghosts could do anything, Xiaoping clenched his hand, and its body exploded. Its entire body was engulfed in flames and incinerated. Damned human, you dare kill my clansman. Kill him, swarm him, and devour his soul. Bullshit flames. Do you think these crooked paths can deal with me, dark ghost? You're dreaming. The underworld ghosts roared angrily, their anger reaching a peak. They went crazy and attacked. Terrifying underworld ghost power erupted, targeting Xiaoping's soul and trying to destroy it. In front of this kind of nether ghost power, any human would die. The Hellfire Crucible. Xiaoping sneered and formed a hand seal. The golden crow of hell bloodline within him stirred, and one hell rune after another, and hell flame surged out to form a massive furnace. This furnace gave off an ancient, primal, noble, and destructive aura. Countless scriptures of hell appeared, as if there were gods and devils chanting sutras, ancient ancestors praying, and angels singing. One infernal ghost after another was caught off guard, and were sucked into the Hellfire Crucible. It was like Sun Wukong being sucked into the 8 trigrams furnace. Not good. Quick retreat. Damn it, I've been tricked. I can't touch this furnace. AID, save me, save me. The infernal ghost screamed, and the infernal ghost power they were so proud of was useless in the face of the Hellfire Crucible. Their formless bodies were incapable of escaping the confines of the Hellfire Crucible. They tried to flee, but the scriptures surrounding the crucible blocked them. It was like an enchantment had been set up to prevent any living creature from escaping. Refine. Xiaoping's hands flashed in an incantation gesture, and flames erupted out of him. Wisp after wisp of golden crow of hell fire exploded out, turning the Hellfire Crucible into a sea of flames that burned everything in its path. These nether ghosts screamed and tried to overturn mountains and seas, but when their bodies came into contact with the flames, it was like oil coming into contact with fire. They were instantly set ablaze. In the blink of an eye, the underworld ghosts were burned to death, transforming into wisps of gray energy. As for Xiaoping, he circulated his devouring power, creating a whirlpool in his brain region. He swallowed all the grayish-white air currents in his body. His soul power was also increasing at a rapid speed. As his soul power increased, the magic power in his body also increased by a large margin. Meng Nan and the others were dumbfounded. There had been more than 100 underworld ghosts, but Xiaoping had killed more than half of them. What kind of terrifying battle prowess was this? Damnation! Just what secret magic did this human use to devour our underworld ghost's soul power? This human is a great enemy of the underworld ghosts. He has to be killed, or we'll be in big trouble. Retreat. Retreat immediately. Return to Mount Phaseless and report to the Overlord. Kill this human. The remaining underworld ghosts began to retreat. They knew that they weren't a match for this human, and staying here would only lead to death. They would be killed and devoured in an instant. They made a prompt decision and split up, fleeing in all directions at an extremely fast speed. It's useless. You can't escape. Xiaoping immediately attacked, using the great yin-yang tablet smashing hand. A giant hand condensed from the power of yin and yang appeared, crushing down from the sky. It covered the sky, covering everything within 1,000 kilometers. A yin-yang formation immediately appeared, stirring the yin and yang energy within 1,000 kilometers, forming an absolute domain. The bodies of the underworld ghosts were bound, unable to move, as if they had fallen into a swamp. Human, we are the underworld ghosts of Mount Phaseless. If you dare kill us, the Overlord will not let you off. Hurry up and let us go, or your human race will be exterminated. Rivers of blood will flow, and not a single one will be left. The underworld ghosts roared, trying to scare Xia Ping and obtain a chance to survive. Mount Phaseless? What kind of damn place is that? So what if you call your master over? Even if he comes, he'll still die. Xia Ping sneered. Ignoring the roars of the underworld ghosts, he slammed his palm down. He didn't care what background these underworld ghosts had. If they dared to offend him, only death awaited them. No matter who came, it would be useless. Dong! This palm strike was like the sky was descending, and it shook the heavens and the earth. It instantly blasted all of the nether ghosts into powder. Even the ground was unable to endure the immense power of this palm. 100-kilometer crater immediately appeared. Donna Town was also smashed into dust. Not a single building remained. Chapter 15:15. Lord Xia is truly too powerful. Over 100 dark ghosts. That's enough to massacre a city. But Lord Xia has killed them all. Oh my god, am I dreaming? I remember that dark ghosts are extremely difficult to kill. They have no form and can escape at will. Even a powerful demon destroyer is no match for a dark ghost. The army of Green Sun City would probably be annihilated by 100 dark ghosts. But now Lord Xia has killed them? This isn't a dream. This is reality. Did you see Donna Town? It's gone now, shattered by Lord Xia's palm. Heavens, just what kind of powerful figure did we encounter? The members of the Tempest Caravan were all dumbfounded. They had thought that they would die after encountering 100 dark ghosts. Who would have thought that the dark ghosts would be the ones killed instead? They had lived in this world for a long time and had never encountered something like this. They had never felt so proud before. Killing dark ghosts as easily as slaughtering chickens required terrifying martial power. They all looked at Xia Ping with awe. Whoosh! Xia Ping took a deep breath and circulated the pure, young, immortal art to stabilize the surging magic power in his body. After killing over 100 nether ghosts and devouring their soul energy, his soul energy had become much stronger than before. He could feel his flame of the soul burning fiercely, turning into a sea that was almost tangible. It seemed to be condensing into a sun. At the same time, the mystical talismans in the depths of his violet palace were showing signs of melting. If his flame of the soul improved further, he would be able to completely melt these mystical talismans and forge them into a golden core. This wasn't too far off. As long as he killed more dark ghosts and devoured their soul energy, he would be able to reach the golden core faster. Do you know what kind of place Mount Formless is? Xia Ping turned and looked at Meng Nan and the others. He recalled the threat the dark ghosts had made before they had died. It seemed that Mount Formless was very powerful and could support the dark ghosts. Hearing this, Meng Nan and the others all turned grave. Someone cried out, "No way. These dark ghosts are from Mount Formless? Oh no, we've probably poked a hornet's nest this time. We're in big trouble." "Oh, Mount Formless, is that amazing?" Xia Ping raised his eyebrows. "Lord Xia, Mount Formless is not as simple as just being amazing. It can be said to be the strongest force within a 100,000-mile radius. It's an absolute overlord. Even Xingyang City is no match for Mount Formless." A bitter smile appeared on Meng Nan's face. It is said that the master of the Formless Mountain is a nether ghost called the Formless Ghost King. It is proficient in the art of transformation. It is shapeless and invisible, and its strength is terrifying and unfathomable. It also had thousands of underworld ghosts and tens of thousands of fiendish demons under its command. Its strength was second to none. If anyone dared to provoke Formless Mountain, they would die without a doubt. Even Green Sun City might be destroyed. In fact, the number of human cities that have been destroyed because of Mount Formless is uncountable. It is simply the greatest nightmare of us humans within a radius of 100,000 miles, the true lord of the demons. The members of the Tempest caravan all had serious expressions on their faces. They felt a heavy pressure. Being targeted by such a powerful force was no different from being targeted by the Grim Reaper. However, they also knew that if they did not kill that group of nether ghosts, they would definitely die. There was no point in talking about the future. Interesting place. If Mount Formless is destroyed, doesn't that mean that I can completely advance to the Golden Core realm? Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He felt that he had found a shortcut to advance. Destroy Mount Formless. The corners of Meng Nan and the others' mouths twitched. They felt that Xiaoping was talking nonsense. Mount Formless was terrifying. Even dozens of human cities combined could not compare to it. For hundreds of years, there were simply countless humans who wanted to destroy Mount Formless. However, Mount Formless still stood tall and became the absolute overlord of this region. It was unshakable. Anyone who challenged Mount Formless' position as the overlord had basically died without exception. Although Lord Xia was powerful, he was only one person. He was weak and could not compare to Mount Formless, which had many nether ghosts. However, Xiaoping did not care about what Meng Nan and the others thought. He did not bother to explain anything. As long as he wanted to do something, he would do it. There was no need to care about what others thought. Are these nether stones? Suddenly, he sensed a strange ripple hidden in the ruins of Donda Town. It seemed to be the power of the netherworld. He reached out with his hand. In an instant, dozens of black stones flew into his hand. These black stones emitted netherworld ripples and mysterious black energy. What treasure? Xiaoping's eyes lit up. He could sense that these nether stones were quite beneficial to him. It seemed that if he could devour them, his infernal golden crow bloodline would be greatly unsealed, making his infernal energy even stronger. This wasn't just beneficial to nether ghosts. It was also very beneficial to humans. It could strengthen their souls. Do any of you know where these nether stones came from? Xiaoping turned and looked at Meng Nan and the others. Meng Nan and the others exchanged glances. They had all come from Green Sun City. They had no idea how the people of this town had obtained so many nether stones. They had only hurried over when they heard the news. However, all of them simultaneously turned to look at a man in red robes. Lord Xia. At this moment, the red-robed man walked out and said, I know where these nether stones came from. They came from a mountain range 100 miles from Donda Town. A nether stone mine was discovered there, and there are many nether stones inside. How do you know? Xiaoping asked curiously. The red-robed man sighed. This lowly one is from Donda Town. In truth, I came to Green Sun City to make a deal with the people of Green Sun City. I acted as a contact, but I hadn't expected that these nether stones would bring disaster to the town. So many nether ghosts have arrived. This has harmed the people of the town. He clenched his fists, filled with hatred. When he saw all the people of the town die, he couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. He wanted nothing more than to kill all the nether ghosts and take his revenge. Since that's the case, tell me where the mine is and you will be rewarded, Xiaoping said. The red-robed man shook his head. My lord, I don't need a reward. You have personally killed the nether ghosts and taken revenge for the people of Donda Town. This is already a great kindness. What is a trifling piece of information? Moreover, since the nether ghosts have come to Donda Town, they must have discovered the nether stone mine, perhaps even occupied it. After all, they also have a great desire for nether stones. He felt that the mine was currently filled with danger. Occupied? Just slaughter them all. This is the territory of the humans. How can the nether ghosts be so impudent? Chapter 15:16. At this moment, on a mountain range 100 miles away from Donda Town, more than 100 nether ghosts had appeared in this place. Day and night, they madly excavated the nether stones of this mountain range. In just a few short days, they had excavated almost the entire mountain range. It was estimated that in another day, all the nether stones in this mountain range would be dug clean by them. I didn't expect this small place to have a small nether stone mine. My luck is just too good. TSK. If it wasn't for the fact that the humans in the town were too stupid to the point of leaking out the aura of the nether stone, how could we have discovered this place? So, in order to thank them for their help, we ate them all. The group of nether ghosts cackled. But why haven't Ghost 10 and the others returned after so long? They seem to have stayed in that town for a long time. A dark ghost asked curiously. 200 dark ghosts had come out in total. Some of them had remained in the mountains to mine, while others had gone to the small town. They're lying in ambush. It's said that some humans received the news and are planning to head to this town to purchase nether stones. Hee, foolish humans. I'm afraid they don't know that the people in the town have already been killed by us. Yet, they still dare to come here. Isn't this the same as sending sheep into the tiger's mouth? Looks like Gue Sure and the others will be able to eat a lot more humans. I'm so envious. It's a pity that we can only stay here and mine nether stones. We won't be able to taste delicious humans. Don't worry. After this mission is completed, the Lord has already given the order to allow us to enter the human cities and kill wantonly. Very soon, we will have delicious food to eat. The human realm is still the most wonderful place. This place is simply heaven for us nether ghosts. Our Lord has already started the human breeding program. We're breeding them like pigs. Soon, we'll have large numbers of humans as food. We'll be able to eat however we want. The dark ghosts chattered among themselves. After coming to this world, their lives have been incredibly comfortable. They were formless and incorporeal, and ordinary humans were completely incapable of dealing with them. When they came to the human world, they were simply invincible existences. Moreover, they had a large number of humans as their food. This kind of life could even be compared to heaven, and it was a little enjoyable. To treat humans as food, you nether ghosts really are the common enemies of the human race. You deserve to die. A voice suddenly rang out from the dark ghost side. Who is it? You cowardly scoundrel, come out now. The dark ghosts were given a fright and warily looked around. They had never imagined that an enemy would be able to silently approach them despite their outstanding senses. It was simply inconceivable. All of them naturally separated to avoid being surrounded and annihilated by the enemy. A figure immediately appeared before the many dark ghosts. This person was clearly Xiaoping. Based on the red-robed man's information, he had flown to this mountain range and seen many dark ghosts gathered here. In truth, he didn't need to search for the netherstone mine. As long as he sensed the ghostly chi on these dark ghosts, he would naturally find the correct place. Human? A puny human dares to appear before us, dark ghosts? The dark ghosts were all stunned. They had thought that the enemy who had ambushed them was a dark ghost of a different faction or a demon. However, they didn't expect that the person speaking in the dark was actually a human, and only one at that. They looked at Xiaoping as if he was a fool. A tiny human had appeared in front of them alone. If this wasn't seeking death, what was? Could it be that this human was tired of living for too long? Kill him. A dark ghost sneered and instantly attacked. Its massive body was extremely fast, and it was like a hurricane that radiated dark ghost energy. It instantly enveloped Xiaoping's body. This power was extremely terrifying. Everything that it passed through was completely frozen. The other dark ghosts watched from the sidelines, treating this as a game. Soon, this human would be killed and eaten, becoming their snack. Dong! Just as the dark ghost approached Xiaoping, Xiaoping reached out and grabbed the ghost body like an eagle grabbing a chick. He held it there and then. What? The dark ghost was shocked. It struggled, but the terrifying power of this hand seemed to contain scriptures that sealed its body. It couldn't break free at all. Xiaoping gently squeezed, crushing the dark ghost into a meatball the size of a meatball. With a slap, he swallowed the dark ghost. At the same time, the sun furnace in his body began to burn. The dark ghost didn't even have time to scream. In just a few breaths of time, it was turned to ash and completely absorbed. He actually ate Ghost 50. The dark ghosts were all dumbfounded. They had lived for countless years and had seen many things. It could be said that there was nothing they hadn't seen before, but they had never seen someone eat a dark ghost. This was like a rabbit that stopped eating grass and switched to eating lions. It was just too absurd. They couldn't accept the fact that they had gone from being the predator to being the prey. This human is too strange. We have to capture him and see just what kind of background he has. Capture him. Immediately capture this human. Kill Ghost 50. We can't let him go. I have a premonition that this human is definitely a great enemy of my dark ghost race. We have to kill him immediately to get rid of any future troubles. The dark ghosts surged with killing intent. They no longer dared to be careless. This human had instantly killed Ghost 50 and eaten him. This ability was too terrifying, and it caused the dark ghosts to tremble. They felt that perhaps this human had grasped the ability to deal with dark ghosts. This speculation made them even crazier. If that was really the case, perhaps the dark ghosts would face the end of their lives. They definitely couldn't allow such a thing to happen. All of you, don't even think about escaping. Xiaoping's expression was cold, and his eyes shone with a cold light. His killing intent soared as he immediately attacked. A star formation appeared in his body, seeming to connect with the power of countless stars in the depths of the void, causing a resonance. Martial path, divine ability, star guiding art, infinite gravity. Boom! In the blink of an eye, the entire world was plunged into darkness. Stars appeared one after another, densely packed together like a picture of the starry skies. The terrifying power of the stars came crashing down. With Xiaoping at the center, everything within a radius of several hundred kilometers was enveloped by this domain. The gravity suddenly increased, becoming thousands of times stronger. It was as if a mountain was pressing down on them. What? The dark ghosts were all shocked. They felt as if their bodies couldn't move. They were bound by the power of the stars, and it was as if they had fallen into a swamp. There was a powerful resistance all around them, and it was as if layers of seals had been placed on them. Chapter 15:17. Burn. After binding up the nether ghosts, Xiaoping decisively stepped forward and punched. A terrifying wave of hellfire golden crow flames immediately erupted, turning the entire region into a sea of flames. All of the power of the flames slammed into these dark ghosts. Bang, bang, bang. These dark ghosts were caught off guard and had no time to dodge. They were instantly struck by the flames, and their bodies were pierced and torn apart. The flames even ignited their bodies, causing them to start burning. The temperature was rising rapidly, and the ground was covered in flames. Even the rocks were being burned into magma. The air itself seemed to be twisting, creating all sorts of strange phenomena. The dark ghosts felt an unprecedented sense of panic. They should have been formless, but in the face of these flames, they were practically non-existent. The temperature distorted their bodies. When the terrifying heat reached them, even their souls were being burned. It was as if they had fallen into a fiery hell. Their souls were constantly being roasted, and the pain was unbearable. Ah, not good. These flames are the bane of our dark ghost bodies. It contains the power of hell. Could it be hellfire? No, this isn't hellfire. It's a flame of a higher level than hellfire. It's unfathomably deep, ancient, noble, powerful, and invincible. He's just a lowly human. How can he control such ancient hellfire? I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Don't talk nonsense here. Staying here means death. Retreat. We need to retreat now. There's no way to retreat. This place is bound by gravity, and we've been captured. He wants to kill all of us dark ghosts. Damn human, I'll kill you. Even if I die, I won't let you have it easy. One dark ghost after another let out miserable screams. Their bodies were unable to endure this power and exploded into pieces. The Hellfire Golden Crow continued to burn their bodies. Some dark ghosts wanted to drag Xiaoping down with them before they died, but as soon as they attacked, Xiaoping punched them to pieces and turned them to ash, not even their bones remaining. Their actions were like moths flying into a flame, seeking their own deaths. No matter how many came, they would all die. After a few breaths of time, over 100 dark ghosts had been wiped out, and the soul energy they had left behind was rapidly devoured by Xiaoping, becoming nourishment for his own soul. The magic power on Xiaoping's body was also increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye, constantly becoming stronger. This mountain range had also been razed to the ground. There were potholes everywhere, just like the surface of the moon. Not bad, not bad at all. I really have to thank these nether ghosts for their hard work. I have to thank them for excavating the nether stones. Otherwise, who knows how long it would have taken. Xiaoping calmed himself down and scanned his surroundings. Very quickly, he discovered that there was a piece of flat land nearby. There were nether stones that were as tall as a small mountain. They emitted a dense and mysterious hell energy. Originally, they had intended to transport these nether stones back to Mount Formless. However, who would have thought that they would be completely annihilated before they could even move? Even the nether stones that they had excavated had fallen into the hands of others. Whoosh! Xiaoping waved his hand and immediately collected the underworld stones and put them into the Mountain River Pearl space. He also dug out the rest of the underworld stones, leaving nothing behind. He carefully searched the surroundings, but didn't find any treasures, so he left the mountain range because he planned to return to Green Sun City with Meng Nan and the others. After all, he was very curious about the secrets of this secret realm. But an hour after Xiaoping left, a weak nether ghost stealthily appeared from deep underground. Its expression was extremely gloomy, as if it had just survived a disaster. Damn it, just where did this human come from? Why does he have such shocking power to be able to easily kill nether ghosts? The nether ghost was truly shocked. Just now, it had been mining in the depths of the mine. Because it was weak, it had been ignored by the other nether ghosts and treated as a laborer. Unexpectedly, it had been able to avoid this disaster precisely because it was weak. It had hidden itself deep underground, doing its best to hide its aura and not being discovered by Xiaoping. No, this kind of human is too dangerous. I have to return to Mount Formless and report this matter to the Lord. This human cannot continue to live, or the nether ghost race will suffer. Thinking of that, the nether ghost made a prompt decision. Without another word, it immediately returned to Mount Formless and reported this matter. Whoosh! Several hours later, the nether ghost returned to Mount Formless and immediately went to Mount Formless headquarters. This was a palace, the noble palace where the Ghost King lived. Many powerful nether ghosts had appeared here. At this moment, a nether ghost the size of a small mountain was sitting on a throne. It wore a white fox mask and exuded a terrifying ghostly aura that had condensed into corporeal form. Boundless, baleful energy swirled around the palace. It was the ruler of Mount Formless, the Formless Ghost King, Ghost 3000. The Formless Ghost King looked at the nether ghost that had returned and said in a low, muffled voice, "Didn't this king order you to excavate the newly discovered netherstone mine? Why have you returned so early? Have you already completed the mission? What about the nether stones? Where are the nether stones? Don't tell me you filled your pockets?" Reporting to the Lord, something big has happened. Something really big has happened this time. The nether ghost cried out in terror. A human suddenly launched a sneak attack on the netherstone mine. That bastard went on a killing spree and slaughtered over 100 nether ghosts, leaving not a single one alive. This lowly one was only able to return because I was lucky. Otherwise, King would probably never have seen me again. It described what had happened in the mine. Not only had all the nether ghosts been killed, but even the nether stones had been stolen by that hateful human. Not even a single fragment had been left. It was the kind of thing where a goose had plucked its feathers. "What did you say?" The Formless Ghost King roared angrily. Over 100 nether ghosts were slaughtered by a mere human? Even if you're lying, there should be a limit. What kind of human has the power to kill us nether ghosts as easily as killing chickens? It did not believe Ghost 3000's words. "Lord, every word that I, Ghost 3000, speak is the truth. If there is even half a lie, may the heavens strike me with 5 bolts of lightning." Ghost 3000 immediately swore an oath, expressing that what he said was absolutely true. That human was able to easily kill the nether ghosts because he controlled the power of Hell's flames. Because of the Hell's flames, the nether ghosts were unable to resist and were burned to death. It continued to speak the truth it had seen. Hell's flames. The nether ghosts in the hall were all panicking, their eyes filled with wariness. This was an ancient power of hell that specialized in restraining nether ghosts. Just how did a human control the power of hell's flames? He definitely has some great secret on him. Investigate. Immediately investigate. I want to know all of his secrets. The formless ghost king roared angrily, giving the order for the nether ghosts to move out. Although it was angry, it was not stupid. On the contrary, it was very smart. As the saying went, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will emerge victorious in every battle. When faced with this mysterious human, any rash actions were foolish. Chapter 15:18. Qingyang City. Several days later, under the lead of Meng Nan and the others, after a long journey through grasslands, mountains, deserts, and other places, Xiaoping finally arrived at the only human city within 1,000 miles. This is Qingyang City. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes, looking at the so-called human super city, but it was very shabby. The city walls were towering, hundreds of meters tall, and looked very imposing. Unfortunately, the city walls seemed to be full of holes, as if they had been damaged by countless demons and were in imminent danger. Then, they were repaired by humans. He could feel the ancient and tragic aura of war coming from the city walls. Who knew how many times this city had resisted the invasion of demons and dark ghosts? At the city gates, many people were entering and leaving Qingyang City. He could also feel the decline of the city. Most of the people who entered Qingyang City were emaciated, and businesses had withered. It was like a city in an apocalyptic world. Everyone was like the Walking Dead. Stop! At this time, Xiaoping and the others wanted to enter Qingyang City, but they were stopped by a group of city guards. You must be the storm caravan. Who is in charge? A captain of the city guards walked out, staring at the storm caravan. I am. Meng Nin raised his hand, indicating that he was in charge of the caravan. I heard that you went to Dongta town to trade for the dark stones. Now that you have returned safely, I believe you have obtained the dark stones. How is it? The captain showed a greedy look. The storm caravan and the others' hearts tightened. Seeing the captain's expression, they knew that they had been targeted and might be extorted. Moreover, they knew the captain. His name was Gao Ding. It was said that he was related to the city lord of Qingyang City. His power was complicated, and he had astonishing power. They could not afford to offend him. Gao Ding was greedy by nature. If they were targeted by him, they would probably be skinned alive. Meng Nan was half dead with anger. He did not know who had leaked the news that he had gone to Dongta town to trade. Now that they were targeted by the city guards, how could they have an easy time? The other party wouldn't give up until he was thoroughly searched. After all, no one in Qingyang City knew how difficult it was to deal with a small fry. This was especially true for the city guards who held power. They were the nightmare of countless merchant groups. 40 to 50% of their profits would be snatched away, resulting in heavy losses. Captain Gao Ding, I did go to Donna Village, but I didn't get any underworld stones. On the way, we encountered dark ghosts and ran back. I don't have a single cent on me. Meng Nin complained that he was poor, but in fact, it was true. All the dark stones were with Xiaoping, and they had no chance to get the dark stones. This transaction was a failure. However, this time, Xiaoping had killed over 1,000 petrified magic snakes. Although Xiaoping had eaten the majority of the snake meat, the snake skin, scales, teeth, and other materials left behind by the petrified magic snakes were all extremely valuable. Xiaoping didn't care about these things at all, treating them like trash. But to them, these were huge gains. They were like precious treasures that made up for the losses they had suffered in this transaction. In fact, it could even be said that they had profited greatly. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. If you run in a dark ghost, you won't be able to make it back alive. Gao Ding stared at Meng Nan and the others and sneered. In any case, you will have to pay 5 underworld stones to enter the city. You are not allowed to enter Green Sun City without a single stone less. He had received news that the residents of Dongta Village had obtained a lot of underworld stones. If the Tempest Caravan went to Dongta Village to trade, they would probably obtain a large number of underworld stones. He had originally wanted to go to Dongta Village, but the problem was that Green Sun City was too far from Dongta Village. The journey was fraught with danger, with demons and dark ghosts roaming about. Every time they went out, it was a life or death crisis. It could be said that every member of the Tempest caravan lived with their heads hanging from their waists. No one knew if they would be killed by a demon on their next journey. Thus, although many people were tempted, they didn't dare to go to Danta village. Someone with a background like Gao Ding naturally wouldn't risk his life to do something so stupid. 5 underworld stones? You're robbing us. Normally, 1 underworld stone is enough for a caravan to go in. You actually have to pay 5. Mengnan was very angry. The entrance fee had suddenly been increased 5-fold. Without a doubt, Gao Ding had deliberately increased the price to scam them. The members of the Tempest caravan were all furious. What? You're not convinced and want to behave atrociously here? Believe it or not, I will immediately arrest all of you, lock you up for 3 months, torture you, and destroy your families. You won't be able to do anything about it. Gao Ding looked disdainfully at Meng Nan and the others. The other city guards also stepped forward, holding long spears in their hands. Their eyes emitted a cold light. There were hundreds of them, and they were murderous. They seemed to have surrounded the Tempest caravan. If the Tempest caravan dared to act rashly, they would immediately kill them. Meng Nan and the others took a step back, seeing the threat of the city guards. They were very angry and unwilling. However, the threat of this group of city guards was too great. They represented the absolute power of Green Sun City. As long as they lived and made a living in Green Sun City, they couldn't afford to offend this group of city guards. Otherwise, it would be difficult for them to move an inch in this place. Xia Ping shook his head. It seemed that the corruption of this city had seeped into their bones. Even a small city guard dared to extort bribes in public. They were unscrupulous. One could imagine how rotten the army of Green Sun City was. It was a fool's dream to think that this kind of defense could deal with dark ghosts and demons. It was no wonder that the people of this city were all emaciated and in despair, as if they were waiting for death every day. Brat, what are you shaking your head for? You seem very unconvinced and dissatisfied with me. Gao Ding immediately saw Xia Ping's movements and frowned. There was actually someone who wouldn't submit to his power. This made him very unhappy. I'm not dissatisfied. I'm just thinking, how can a good-for-nothing like you enter the city guards? Is there no one in Green Sun City who can fight? So, even good-for-nothings can enter? Xia Ping was very honest about his thoughts. What? When these words came out, the expressions of the city guards changed. They hadn't thought that this brat would dare say such a thing and provoke Gao Ding to his face. His guts were simply boundless, and Gao Ding was so angry that his face was pale. No one had ever dared to call him good-for-nothing in his life. Although some people might have said it before, they had said it behind his back. They had never dared to say it to his face. But this brat was different. He had directly called him good-for-nothing in front of him. This was a direct slap to his face. How could he endure this kind of humiliation? Even a turtle would not be able to endure it. Brat, if you have the guts, say it again. If I don't kill you, I'll take your surname in the future. Gao Ding roared angrily, his anger reaching its peak. Bang! Before he could finish speaking, Xia Ping slapped him across the face, leaving a 5-fingered red mark. His body spun 5 or 6 times in the air, and one of his front teeth flew out. He screamed and fell to the ground. If you have the guts, try again. I'll kill you right now. Chapter 15:19. Trouble. Someone's causing trouble. Gao Ding covered his swollen mouth in shock and anger. He scrambled away and gave an order to the surrounding soldiers, shouting, "Go! Capture this troublemaker. Capture him immediately and torture him." His voice was like a thunderclap. One could imagine how angry he was at this moment. He had never experienced such a humiliating thing before. Now, he wanted nothing more than to capture this brat and beat him half to death. You dare to cause trouble in Qingyang City? You must be tired of living. Brat, I advise you to surrender immediately. Otherwise, you'll suffer later. Let's go together and capture this troublemaker. Hearing Gao Ding's order, the soldiers immediately moved. Although they were corrupt and extremely depraved, they were still soldiers who had fought against demons and dark ghosts. They were well trained. Once the order was given, they immediately moved. They raised their spears and other weapons and surrounded Xia Ping. It's over now." Meng Nan and the others' faces were ashen. They were naturally not worried about Xiaoping's safety, but about the soldiers. After all, Xiaoping was someone who could easily slaughter over 100 dark ghosts. Weren't these soldiers just throwing their lives away? If they offended this lord, who knew how many people would die in Qingyang City, but they were only minor characters, how could they resist these ferocious soldiers? Even if they warned Xiaoping that he was a terrifying figure, the soldiers would probably treat it as a joke. Looks like this brat is finished. He actually dared to offend the city guards. He really doesn't know what's good for him. If you want to live in Qingyang City, you can't afford to offend these soldiers. It's easy to meet the king of hell, but it's hard to deal with a small demon. He's probably a newcomer who just came to Qingyang City. He doesn't know the dangers of the world. The surrounding people also saw this scene. They all shook their heads and sighed. They thought that Xiaoping would not live for long after offending these soldiers. After all, there was no way he would have a good life after offending the local tyrant of Qingyang City. At this moment, these soldiers came up from the city gate and naturally spread out, surrounding Xiaoping. They looked ferocious, and the air was filled with the shadows of swords and blades. "Brat, you dare to offend me, Gao Ding? I'll make you suffer a fate worse than death. No one can oppose me in Qingyang City." Gao Ding sneered, as if he could already see Xiaoping being captured and tortured. "Did I allow you to move? An ant dares to act in front of me? Kneel." Xiaoping stood with his hands behind his back as he calmly looked at the soldiers. A terrifying gravitational force exploded out from his body, causing the surrounding kilometers to become boundless. It was as if mountains were crushing down. Bang, bang, bang. Before the soldiers could even reach Xiaoping, they were already in a state of panic. They could feel a boundless gravitational force being exerted on their bodies. It was as if there was a mountain on their shoulders, and even the air was distorted. With a slap, all of them knelt on the ground. Some even knelt on the cement floor. In an instant, the ground was crushed, and their bones were shattered. The weapons in their hands also fell to the ground as they let out miserable screams. The most miserable one was Gao Ding. He was simply too close to Xiaoping, and he was instantly pressed to the ground by the terrifying gravitational force. The ground collapsed, and a human-shaped pit appeared. He wanted to struggle with all his might, but it was impossible. It was like Sun Wukong being suppressed by the Five-Finger Mountain. Even if he wanted to use any strength, it was impossible. Even facing this terrifying pressure, his bones were cracking, as if they would be crushed into pieces in the next second. Gao Ding's heart was filled with endless fear and panic. It was as if he could feel the god of death coming to reap his life. At this moment, he was extremely regretful. If he had known that this person was so powerful, he would not have dared to offend him even if he was beaten to death. Oh my God! The surrounding people were dumbfounded. They felt like they were dreaming. Thousands of elite soldiers wanted to kill this guy, but before they could even take a few steps, they were pressed to the ground. What kind of terrifying strength was this? No matter how stupid they were, they knew that this group of soldiers had offended an extremely powerful person. They had kicked an iron plate. Stop! Who dares to cause trouble in Qingyang City? Do you want to be the enemy of Qingyang City? At this moment, a loud shout came from the depths of the city, causing the ground to crack. A figure immediately flew out from the city and arrived at the city gate. Xiaoping looked up and immediately saw a middle-aged man in black armor flying over from afar with a black broadsword in his hand. His body emitted a mountain-like aura. When he walked over, it was as if the earth was shaking and the mountains were shaking. It was unparalleled. This was at least a warrior at the pinnacle of true Fire Realm. He was far stronger than these elite soldiers. Commander Che Xiu Army. Commander Che has actually appeared. Someone immediately recognized the middle-aged man's identity. Meng Nan and the rest were shocked too. They knew that this middle-aged man was the commander of Qingyang City. He was in charge of the three armies and was the second most powerful person after the governor of Qingyang City. They did not expect that this matter would cause Commander Che to appear in person. If this matter continued, it would probably get out of hand. However, it was not their turn to speak now. Commander Che, the soldiers were overjoyed. They believed that as long as Commander Che took action, this arrogant man would definitely be captured and they would be rescued. Who are you? Why did you come to cause trouble in Qingyang City? Che's Xiu army stood in front of the city gate and looked at Xia Ping cautiously. However, he did not dare to step into Xia Ping's gravitational field. He could feel the powerful aura from this unfamiliar man in front of him. It was frightening. Even an ordinary demon could not compare to him. If such a person caused trouble in Qingyang City, it would probably cause great losses to Qingyang City. As the commander of Qingyang City, he had to consider many things. However, he soon noticed Gao Ding, who was lying at Xia Ping's feet. He immediately exclaimed, "Gao Ding, why are you here? Let go of Gao Ding immediately, and I will spare your life." If it was an ordinary conflict, he might not be so anxious. The problem was that Gao Ding's identity was extraordinary. He was the nephew of the governor of Qingyang City. If anything happened to Gao Ding here, the governor would probably be furious. By then, there would be many more unlucky people. He immediately glared at Xia Ping and emitted a terrifying, murderous aura. "Let go. Who do you think you are? What right do you have to talk to me? Come and accompany him." Xia Ping looked at Che's Xiu army indifferently. He instantly made a grabbing motion. Immediately, a giant hand containing the power of yin and yang appeared. It descended from the sky and covered 100 miles. It was as though the energy of heaven and earth within 100 miles was grasped by this giant hand. What? Chapter 15:20. In the next second, Che Xiujuan did not know what had happened. The large hand was like an eagle catching a chick, instantly grabbing his body. Dong! The large hand gently squeezed, and the extremely hard armor that could even block the attacks of demons was shattered into pieces, falling to the ground piece by piece. Che Xiujuan's entire body was also captured, and with a smack, he was thrown to the ground, creating a human-shaped pit. Dirt and dust flew everywhere. He could not bear this force and could not help but spit out a mouthful of blood. "Commander Che!" The people present could not help but exclaim, especially the many soldiers. Che Xiujuan, whom they revered like a god and viewed as a hero, had been captured like a chicken and beaten half to death on the spot. They could not believe their eyes. This was not realistic at all. Seeing this scene, Gao Ding was completely scared out of his wits, his entire body trembling. Even Commander Che Xiujuan was not much stronger than a chick in front of this man. This strength was terrifying beyond belief. He did not know how many times he would die after offending such a great figure. Even the city lord might not be able to protect him. Meng Nan and the others were not shocked. Although Che Xiujuan's strength was not bad, and he was known as the commander of the 3 armies of Qingyang City, and had made great contributions in the past, compared to a monster like Xia Ping, who had easily killed hundreds of dark ghosts and thousands of petrified demon snakes. He was just a rookie, not worth mentioning. "All right, how should I deal with you? Do you want to be dismembered, or do you want to be dismembered?" Xia Ping stood with his hands behind his back, looking down from above. Hearing this, Che Xiujuan's intestines turned green with regret. Wasn't he going to die either way? If he had known this would happen, he would not have saved that good-for-nothing young master. Now he had provoked such a fierce person. Gao Ding and the others' faces were ashen. Even Che Xiujuan had been unlucky, falling to such a state. It seemed that they would not be able to survive today. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this time, because the commotion at the city gate was too great, it finally alarmed the important figures of Qingyang City. Dozens of powerful auras flew out from the city extremely fast. In an instant, these people arrived in front of the city gate. The surrounding people were all shocked because the people who had come were all great figures of Qingyang City. There were many elders of Qingyang City, and even city Lord Gao Anxing had appeared here. It could be said that all the important figures in Green Sun City had come out in full force. Even if they were surrounded by the demons and dark ghosts, this was nothing. "Brother, don't be angry. Please don't be angry." A white-robed old man walked forward and cupped his hands, and he revealed an amiable expression as if he intended to keep the peace. This was the city governor of Green Sun City, Gao Anxing, and he was the true overlord of this city. Xia Ping could sense that the old man's aura was extraordinary. He was probably the strongest expert in the entire city, at least at the early stage Golden Core realm. "Oh, who are you?" Xiaoping calmly looked at the white-robed elder. "This old man is the city lord of Qingyang City. My name is Gao Anqing." The white-robed elder smiled slightly. "I already know the gist of the matter. It's all our fault. To think that some corrupt and shameless people actually appeared in the city guards, and they even dared to extort in public. This is a disgrace to our Qingyang City. Please don't worry. I will definitely punish such black sheep and the cancerous tumor of the city guards. I will definitely not forgive them and give you a satisfactory explanation." He indicated that he had already understood the entire truth of the matter in a short period of time and pushed all the blame onto Gao Ding, hoping to appease Xiaoping's anger. Is this enough to punish some corrupt people? Xiaoping did not want to let this group of people off so easily. Of course, it's not enough, but this is not the place to talk. Why don't you come to my City Lord mansion and have a detailed discussion? What do you think? The white-robed elder, Gao Anqing, invited. Xiaoping thought about it. He had come to Qingyang City to understand the mysteries and truth of this world, so there was no need to fall out with Qingyang City. This was just a small matter. Moreover, perhaps he could take advantage of this opportunity to extort them to tell him the information he knew. All right, I hope you don't play any tricks. Otherwise, don't blame me for flipping out. Xiaoping said lightly. The white-robed elder, Gao Anqing, was immediately overjoyed. He knew that Xiaoping's tone had softened. This matter was almost settled, and there would not be a life-and-death conflict. That's a matter of course. Young friend, this way please. The white-robed elder, Gao Anqing, immediately invited Xiaoping into the City Lord mansion. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiaoping followed the City Lord, Gao Anqing, into Qingyang City. The other Qingyang City elders also followed him back. Che Xiujuan was carried away for treatment. As for Gao Ding and the other instigators, they were arrested and imprisoned. What awaited them was severe punishment. Many Qingyang City residents immediately heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the City Lord did not have a conflict with this terrifying expert. Otherwise, who knew how many people would have died and how many innocent people would have been affected? Seeing Xiaoping leave, Meng Nan and the others also felt lost. They knew that if they did not do anything this time, it would be extremely unlikely for them to meet such an expert again in the future. 10 minutes later, Xiaoping followed Gao Anqing into the City Lord mansion. Many people also followed him in. They were either the Qingyang City elders or the commanders of the major armies. It could be said that the highest combat power of Qingyang City was basically here. They looked at Xiaoping with unfriendly gazes. Because Xiaoping had wreaked havoc in Qingyang City and heavily injured the commander-in-chief of the three armies, there was already a rift between the two sides. It was impossible for them to give Xiaoping a good attitude. Young friend, what's your name? The white-robed elder, Gao Anqing, asked curiously. Xiaoping. Xiaoping was a man of few words. Gao Anqing stroked his white beard. This name is very ordinary. It seems that you're not an expert from the nearby cities. May I know where you are from? You want to know Xiaoping's origin. After all, there were very few people who could easily injure Che Xiujuan and make him feel fear. Such a person could not be unknown. I'm just a nobody. It's not surprising that the City Lord doesn't know about me. Xiaoping waved his hand. Moreover, I am not from the nearby cities. I am just a traveler from the distant east. I am currently traveling around the world to increase my knowledge and experience. Traveler. Everyone's expression changed. They could feel the weight of this word, because this was a world of demons. There were underworld ghosts and giant demons everywhere. There were many dangers. It was an extravagant hope for an ordinary person to leave their hometown unscathed. It was also difficult for experts like them to leave a radius of 1,000 miles. Chapter 1521. To be able to travel around the world, how amazing. Little friend must be very knowledgeable and have seen many things. City Lord Gao Anqing's eyes flashed as he continued to probe. I have indeed seen many things, but that is not the main point of our conversation, Xiaoping said indifferently. I'll tell you the truth. I only came to Green Sun City for one thing. I want to know how those nether ghosts and demons appeared. He went straight to the point and set his main goal. You are someone who has traveled around the world. Could it be that you still don't know how those dark ghosts and demons appeared? Aren't you too ignorant? A general sneered. He was very suspicious of Xia Ping's identity and goal. In particular, he had injured Che Xiujuan, which made him feel even more dissatisfied. Did I give you permission to speak? Xia Ping narrowed his eyes, and his body gave off a terrifying aura. It was like a star that crushed down on this general. Immediately, this general felt a tyrannical power pressing down on him, causing all the bones in his body to tremble. Sweat poured down like rain, and it was as if he would suffocate to death in the next second. This was a mighty power that he could not resist. With a paw, the wooden chair he was sitting on immediately shattered, and his entire body collapsed onto the ground. Blood flowed out of his nose, mouth, eyes, ears, and other places. It was a terrifying scene. Little friend, please stay your hand. Seeing this, City Lord Gao Anxing hurriedly tried to dissuade him. It is indeed our people who do not understand the rules. They actually dare to speak nonsense here. I hope you can spare their lives. If they don't understand the rules, they have to be taught. Otherwise, they will be like hooligans in the countryside all day, arrogant and despotic. They won't even know when they will die, Xia Ping said indifferently. Xia Ping said indifferently. He retracted his aura and revealed a condescending look. Although I'm still young, I know what etiquette is and what it means not to interrupt when others are talking. I also respect the elderly, but that doesn't mean you can take advantage of your seniority. You've lived for so long, but you still don't understand anything. You still need others to teach you this bit of etiquette. That's not right, understand? After withdrawing his aura, the general gasped for breath, as if he had just been rescued from drowning. His sweat was like rain, and he felt as if he had walked a circle in Yama's palace. He felt as if he had just survived a disaster. He looked at Xia Ping with incomparable fear. He could feel that Xia Ping was as powerful as a god, an existence that he could not match. What? Hearing Xia Ping lecturing the younger generation like an elder, everyone present was so angry that their noses became crooked. They were all older than the brat in front of them, and he actually dared to lecture them in front of their faces, saying that they didn't know the rules. How arrogant did this bastard want to be before he would let it go? He was too presumptuous. On the spot, they wanted to fly into a rage and teach this kid a lesson. They wanted to let this fellow know that Xingyang City wasn't a place to be trifled with. But before they could do anything, they were stopped by the city governor, Gao Anxing, who told them not to act rashly. In the face of the city lord's orders, no matter how angry they were, they could only endure it. Of course. My subordinates really don't know the rules. I will teach them well in the future. Right? Didn't anyone know where dark ghosts came from? This is a small matter. I can tell you everything I know. City Lord Gao Anxing calmly changed the topic and talked about the thing that Xia Ping was most concerned about. After giving these people a show of strength, the higher-ups of Qingyang City didn't dare to say anything. All of them sat quietly at the side. Xia Ping naturally couldn't be bothered with these people. He listened to the information he wanted to know. According to City Lord Gao Anxing, those dark ghosts and demons seemed to have suddenly appeared 10,000 years ago. At that time, a black hole appeared in the sky, connecting to the depths of an alternate dimension. As a result, those dark ghosts and demons ran out of the black hole. In the beginning, the black hole wasn't very large, and the strength of the dark ghosts and demons that ran out of the black hole was only so. At that time, the humans were barely able to resist them. But as the black hole grew larger, the dark ghosts and demons that could run out of the black hole became more and more terrifying. The human forces were forced to retreat, and they were on the verge of extinction. Now, the human forces were in despair. They couldn't see any hope of victory. If the black hole continued to expand, even more terrifying monsters would run out, and they would die without a doubt. Where are those black holes? Xia Ping asked. There are a total of 9 such black holes scattered all over the world, City Lord Gao Anxing said solemnly. City Lord Gao Anxing said in a deep voice, The closest black hole to here is in the Formless Mountain, which is occupied by the Formless Ghostly King. Formless Ghost King. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. It seemed like to obtain the passageway to hell, he had to first destroy the Formless Ghost King. However, the Formless Ghost King's strength wasn't simple either. He was probably at the returning Truth Realm, which was a realm stronger than the Golden Core realm. He far surpassed everyone in Qingyang City. It could be said that the human forces in a radius of hundreds of thousands of kilometers had submitted to the terrifying rule of the Formless Ghost King. The so-called returning Truth Realm was the realm of returning to one's natural state. Warriors were already approaching the transformation realm. If Golden Core realm warriors were existences that condensed their martial Tao divine powers into a Golden Core, then the returning Truth Realm was a step further. From the Golden Core, one soul would undergo earth-shattering changes, allowing one to condense an essence soul. Therefore, some people said that the returning Truth Realm was actually the Essence Soul Realm. Once one condensed an Essence Soul, they would truly possess the ability to survive in outer space. Even without sunlight, water, or food, they could traverse the universe and roam the void. At such a realm, one could be called a mighty figure. Ordinary sect masters of small sects only had this kind of strength. It could be said that cultivators at the returning Truth Realm were much stronger than those at the Golden Core realm. It was likely that even if all the experts of Qingyang City banded together, they wouldn't be a match for the Formless Ghost King. Furthermore, the Dark Ghost was formless and formless. Ordinary attacks were completely useless against it. This made them feel even more despair. Xiaoping continued to ask, "You want to know what methods the humans of this world use to deal with the dark ghosts and demons?" Even though the humans were currently weaker, they had once held the upper hand, forcing the dark ghosts to retreat again and again. City Lord Gao Anxing didn't hide anything. They cultivated dark force and used dark force to cultivate. If they wanted to kill the dark ghosts, they could only succeed if they had the same power. Dark force? Interesting. Can I take a look at these cultivation methods? Xiaoping went straight to the point. He was very curious about the cultivation methods that used dark force. Perhaps he could learn something by analogy. Viewing the cultivation methods of others was a great taboo, but City Lord Gao Anxing didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. Of course, if young friend Xia can benefit greatly, it will be the honor of my Qingyang City. It just so happens that there's a scripture pavilion in the back mountain of my City Lord's mansion. It has all the cultivation methods of my Qingyang City. If you don't mind, I can send someone to take you there. Chapter 1522. After Xiaoping left, the group of Qingyang City elders could no longer suppress the anger in their hearts. City Lord, you're too arrogant towards that outsider. That's right. The secret manuals in the Sutra Pavilion were obtained with great difficulty by our Qingyang City. Now, the brat can view them without paying any price. What right does he have? Even our elders have to contribute to view the secret manuals. That outsider has not contributed anything to Qingyang City, yet he stepped into the Sutra Pavilion and casually read the secret manuals. I can't accept this. That's right. That bastard was so arrogant just now. He slapped our faces right in front of our faces. If not for the City Lord's timely intervention, General Liu would have been killed by him. How can such a lawless person be tolerated? That's right. Such an arrogant person should be immediately arrested and executed. The elders gritted their teeth in indignation. They were practically questioning the City Lord. If not for the City Lord's prestige, they would have rioted. Xiaoping's arrogant attitude made them gnash their teeth in anger. It's not that I don't want to deal with him, but that brat's martial strength is beyond imagination. City Lord Gao Anxing shook his head. I'm afraid you still don't know what that young man did before coming to Qingyang City. He single-handedly killed over 1,000 petrified demon snakes and over 100 nether ghosts. Which one of you can compare to his combat strength? What? Hearing this, the elders were shocked. Over 1,000 petrified demon snakes and over 100 nether ghosts were enough to massacre Qingyang City a dozen times over. But now, this brat actually had the strength to kill so many experts. It was truly inconceivable. Impossible. City Lord, have you been deceived? He's just a junior. How could he have such strength? Some elders did not believe the City Lord's words at all. It's true. City Lord Gao Anqing said solemnly. There's an undercover agent in the Tempest Caravan. He saw the brat's actions with his own eyes and immediately reported the news. This is the truth. There's no doubt about it. I already knew about it before that brat came to Qingyang City. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it. Commanding the Chaishuo army and instantly killing General Liu. Isn't that enough to prove this young man's strength? If such a ferocious god were to cause trouble in Qingyang City, it would probably get out of hand and countless ordinary people would die. The reason why I agreed to so many of his requests was to keep the peace. He gave his reasons for doing so. In fact, he had planted his own men and spies in every caravan in Green Sun City. His goal was to control all the information and resources of these caravans. Many of the elders were silent. They still couldn't believe that Xia Ping had such strength. But now that the city lord had made such a solemn vow, and the fate of Che Xiujuan and the others was in front of them, even if the other party did not have the strength to kill over 100 nether ghosts, he still had the strength to kill a dozen or so. If such a person really caused a ruckus, it would not be something that could be resolved with just a few deaths. But City Lord, that kid's background is really strange. A white-haired elder suddenly said. He actually doesn't know the origins of the dark ghosts, nor does he know the specific situation of this world. He hasn't even cultivated dark energy. So, just how did he obtain such powerful combat power? He voiced out his doubts. Oh, Elder Tang, what's your guess? City Lord Gao Anqing's eyes flashed. He could tell that this white-haired elder seemed to have noticed something. This white-haired elder was the Vice City Lord of Green Sun City. He was also a strategist. His name was Tang Yu, and many of the decisions of Green Sun City had been made by him. He could be said to be the #1 person under the City Lord, possessing great authority. If my guess is correct, that kid might not even be a person of our world, but a visitor from another world, Elder Tang Yu said decisively. These words immediately shocked everyone, their hearts rippling with shock. That's impossible. Besides our world, are there other worlds with humans? Many of the elders couldn't help but swallow, their mouths dry. What's impossible about it? Elder Tang Yu sneered. The Yaoma and Dark Ghosts both came from another world. Do you think that there are no other human worlds? The world is vast, and there are all sorts of strange things. Now that you think about it, that kid's every action is completely out of step with the people of this world, whether it's his way of speaking, his identity, his clothes, his behavior, his manner of speech, his temperament, and his demeanor. The most important evidence is that he doesn't cultivate nether energy, but some other kind of energy. This proves that his origins are extraordinary, and it's much more likely that he comes from another world. He was extremely confident in his judgment. In this world, nether energy was the foundation. There were no other cultivation methods. Perhaps there were 10,000 years ago, but after the appearance of the dark ghosts, those cultivation methods had been abandoned. Without nether energy to attack, humans would undoubtedly die against dark ghosts. It can't be. If he really is a human from another world, he should be careful. How could he be so bold and arrogant? Isn't he afraid of exposing his identity? Someone questioned. Why is he afraid of exposing his identity? That's a question only the weak need to consider. True experts have absolute strength. So what if their identity is exposed? Are they afraid of ants coming to deal with them? Tang Yu spread his hands. Everyone felt extremely sullen. According to Tang Yu's words, they were just ants that others looked down on. Even if they coveted them, they couldn't do anything to them. If this was true, then this bastard was looking down on them too much. But they still didn't quite believe it. This kind of speculation was far too shocking. The idea of another human world was completely beyond their imagination. After all, the majority of people live their entire lives within a range of tens of thousands of miles. They had never left any place beyond this range, much less another world. This kind of speculation was far too bold and unimaginable. If there was evidence, then it would be fine. But there was no evidence. Just based on speculation, they found it hard to accept. Forget it. Whether or not Elder Tang's speculation is true, Whether or not that boy is a visitor from another world, he's definitely a human. He won't eat humans like the dark ghosts and Yaoma do. This kind of human expert is beneficial to us. If the dark ghosts and Yaoma appear, perhaps he will be able to lend us a hand. City Lord Gao Onxing said indifferently. Yes, City Lord. The elders were very unwilling, but they could only think this way. All the elders were extremely indignant. But that was the only way they could think right now. An hour later, the elders of Green Sun City retreated. City Lord Gao Onxing stood up, a cold light in his eyes. He no longer had the demeanor of a nice old man. He walked to a guest hall in the back. At this moment, several elders of Green Sun City had appeared in this hall. Their bodies exuded an eerie, ghostly aura that caused others to shiver. Even Gao Onxing exuded a terrifying nether energy. Chapter 1523. What do you think of that human elder Tang's words? City Lord Gao Onxing asked indifferently. His eyes glowed with green light, as if a ghostly fire was brewing in the depths of his pupils. If the humans of Green Sun City saw City Lord Gao Onxing's aura, they would definitely be scared half to death. He should have been the protector of humanity, the ruler of Green Sun City. But now he had unknowingly been possessed by a dark ghost and turned into a dark ghost puppet. If news of this spread, it would definitely shake the heavens and earth. If even the human headquarters had been invaded by dark ghosts, where else in the world would be safe? And it seemed that it wasn't just the city lord who had been possessed by a dark ghost. Many of the elders had also become food for them. It could be said that all of Green Sun City had been riddled with holes and had unknowingly fallen into the hands of dark ghosts. It's possible. A dark ghost nodded. According to Master's information, the reason he was able to kill dark ghosts is because he controls hellfire, which can harm the essence of our dark ghost souls. This kind of power is not something the humans of this world can control. In other words, he must have come from another human world. That human elder's guess is 70 to 80% likely. From all the signs, it had to admit that Elder Tang's guess was very likely. If that's the case, then this human cannot be allowed to live. A cold light appeared in Gao Onxing's eyes. If he opens a path to another human world and leads a large army of human reinforcements to this world, then wouldn't our dark ghosts be in grave danger? And who knows how strong the human world is? If everyone is as powerful as this Xia Ping, then our dark ghosts will probably be driven back to the infernal realm. That cannot happen. He clenched his fists, his voice resolute. Don't worry. Master has already given the order to kill. This human must die. But this human is very powerful, able to kill over 100 dark ghosts. He won't be easy to deal with. That's right. If we attack, not only will we not be able to kill him, we might even be killed instead. That's not a problem. The reason I agreed to that human's request and tolerated everything was to numb his mind, to make him think that I am a weak and easily bullied person, to make him lower his guard. After a few days, when his wariness is completely gone, I'll deliberately arrange a banquet and poison the food. Then, I'll be able to silently poison him to death and completely eliminate him. Not a bad plan. The human will definitely die. However, what I fear the most is that the human will notice that the food is poisonous. If he discovers it in advance, then he will fail on the verge of success. I'm afraid that he will be unhappy. That's not a problem. I've already made preparations for both sides. According to Master's orders, over 1,000 dark ghosts will arrive at Green Sun City one after another. They'll set up an inescapable net. Even if that brat wasn't poisoned, facing the ambush of over 1,000 dark ghosts, he would have died without a doubt. It can be said that I had already calculated everything. No matter what, the human would have died. My lord had originally planned to come here to completely kill that human and eliminate any future threats. However, my lord needed a guard mount formless to prevent other ghostly kings and fiendish demons from ambushing him and snatching the entrance to hell from him. Otherwise, why would we need to mobilize so many people and have over 1,000 nether ghosts lying in ambush? Just Master alone would be enough to kill that brat dozens of times. His soul would be extracted and tortured, living a life worse than death. The dark ghosts discussed the matter, their killing intent surging as they made all kinds of plans to kill Xiaoping. City Lord Gao Anqing's gaze was cold and filled with confidence. It was as if he could already see Xiaoping being killed by him. Several days later, Xiaoping had already read most of the books in the City Lord's residence's scripture pavilion. He finally understood some things about this world's cultivation system and the mysteries of this world's human cultivation. It had to be said that the cultivation techniques of this world's humans were very profound. They could use nether energy to its fullest extent and could kill dark ghosts and giant fiendish demons. They were incredibly powerful and specifically targeted the soul. However, there was also a huge flaw. Those who cultivated nether energy would often be corroded by nether energy, causing their bodies to be damaged. As a result, the lifespans of this world's cultivators were not very long. After all, nether energy was the power of hell. It was not something that ordinary people could control. If humans tried to control it, they would be punished and their lifespans would be shortened. Many of the experts in this world were short-lived. However, it was not that there was no solution. As long as one cultivated a special body tempering technique and tempered their body to the point where it could withstand nether energy, they would be able to freely control hell's power. The problem was that the body tempering techniques of this world were very ordinary. They could not be tempered to the point where they could withstand nether energy. More importantly, body tempering techniques required the support of large amounts of precious spirit herbs. This world was lacking in resources and did not have that many spirit herbs. This caused the body tempering techniques to be very backward. No wonder the people of this world have such short lifespans. Even Golden Core Realm experts only have a few hundred years of lifespan. Xiaoping was enlightened. He finally understood a bit of this world's mysteries. It was precisely because humans had short lifespans that they had never produced a top expert. At most, they could reach the Golden Core Realm. As for experts above the Returning Truth Realm, they were basically legends. Although this world's cultivation techniques were very backward, after tens of thousands of years, they had still produced many powerful martial arts divine powers that used nether energy. Xiaoping was very interested in two of these divine powers. One of them was called Nether Ghost Hand. This divine power was very powerful. It was a divine power that an expert had created after observing a dark ghost. By circulating nether energy, one could condense a nether ghost hand and use it to pay the enemy back. Once this divine power was used, it could immediately injure a dark ghost. It even had a powerful effect on humans. The body would be fine with a single palm strike, but the soul would be damaged. If the soul was not strong enough, it would immediately dissipate. It could be said that this was an extremely terrifying divine power. It could ignore defenses and directly attack the soul. It was a bit similar to the Dark Ghost's ability. The other divine power was the soul binding chains. This divine power was not a killing divine power, but a support divine power. It used nether energy to condense into chains that could bind a living being's soul. If this divine power struck an enemy, it would follow them like a shadow and lock onto their soul. Even if they were tens of thousands of miles away, they would still be tracked. Moreover, this divine power had a powerful restraining effect on all sorts of strange races in the universe that had the ability to travel through space. Once bound by the soul binding chains, it would be like encountering a soul reaper. There would be nowhere to run, and they would be completely sealed. The two held divine powers, one for killing and one for support, complemented each other. After obtaining these two divine powers, Xiaoping acted as if he had obtained supreme treasures. He constantly cultivated them, losing track of time. Perhaps it was because he had the Hell Golden Crow bloodline, but he was extremely familiar with these two divine powers. He learned them almost without spending much time. Chapter 1524. Green Sun City, a certain residence. Xiaoping was called out of the scripture pavilion by a soldier. He said that he had something to discuss with him, but it was an important matter and could not be known by anyone. It could not be done in the city lord's mansion, so he had to go somewhere else to chat. He was skilled and bold, so he didn't worry about traps. He went straight to the appointment and entered the house. As soon as he entered, he saw some people appear in the residence. Among them was Vice City Lord Tang Yu, and even the commander of the 3 armies of Green Sun City, Che Xiujuan. Many of the upper echelons of Green Sun City had appeared, but the city lord was not here. I didn't think that so many upper echelons of Green Sun City would come here. Is there something that cannot be discussed in the city lord's mansion? Xiaoping looked at this group of people. This matter is very important. It cannot be discussed in the city lord's mansion. Vice City Lord Tang, you step forward inside. You might not believe it, but the entire city lord's mansion has been infiltrated by dark ghosts. Their comrades are everywhere, and Green Sun City is under their surveillance. Even the city lord has become a dark ghost. He clenched his fists, his expression one of grief. I didn't think that you would know that the city lord has been possessed by dark ghosts. Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. Do you know as well? Everyone was stunned. They hadn't thought that Xiaoping would be able to see through it. Of course I know. The ghostly qi on their bodies is as dazzling as the sun. It would be strange if I didn't see it. But I have something I want to know, so I don't want to expose them for now, Xiaoping said indifferently. He knew from the start that the city lord and many of the elders had been possessed by dark ghosts. All of Green Sun City was filled with ghostly qi, as if it had become a ghost realm. But he did not act rashly, choosing to wait and see. After all, he had only just arrived and did not understand the situation. As expected of an expert who could kill over 100 dark ghosts. Your observation skills are truly impressive, Tang Yu praised. Xiaoping waved his hand. There's no need for praise. Since you know that the city lord and the others have been possessed by dark ghosts, why haven't you taken action and exterminated these dark ghosts? If we could exterminate them, we naturally would, Che Xiujuan said helplessly. Che Xiujuan helplessly said, but by the time we learned of this matter, it was already too late. The city lord and dozens of elders had already been killed and possessed by dark ghosts. Even quite a few of the soldiers' bodies have been taken over by dark ghosts. If we alert them, these dark ghosts will definitely start a massacre. At that time, all the humans in Green Sun City will be exterminated, and we won't dare to act rashly. He felt extremely helpless. Even though they knew that the enemy was right next to them, they could only pretend that nothing had happened, pretending that they did not know that the city lord had become a dark ghost. Forget it. I can't be bothered with your business, but why did you suddenly call me over? Could it be that you want me to help you deal with dark ghost? Xiaoping asked. Tang Yu sighed. This old man also knows that little friend Xia is powerful and that he was able to kill more than 100 dark ghosts. His strength is extraordinary, but the dark ghosts are simply too powerful. How can one person deal with them? Thus, this old man does not have extravagant hopes for little friend Xia's help. I have come this time mainly for little friend Xia's safety. Perhaps you do not know, but because you killed so many dark ghosts, Formless Mountain has already viewed you as a thorn in their side and wants to get rid of you as soon as possible. They have already laid down an inescapable net in Green Sun City and sent over 1,000 dark ghosts to guard it. These dark ghosts probably would have killed little friend Xia in Green Sun City. Thus, this old man has come to warn you that little friend Xia should quickly leave Green Sun City. This is not a place to stay for long. He looked very sincerely at Xiaoping. That's right. Based on the intelligence I have gathered, those dark ghosts plan on attacking you tonight. The situation is critical. If you don't leave now, it will likely be too late. Che Xiujuan nodded. Although he had been defeated by Xiaoping, it was just a defeat. There was no deep hatred between the two, and they were both humans. In front of powerful enemies like the dark ghosts and the Yaoma, what did a few minor grudges count for? What will you do after I leave? Xiaoping asked. It's fine. We're just ordinary people. We're not that much of a threat to the dark ghosts. If there is no need, Formless Mountain will not deal with trash like us, Tang Yu said sincerely. Tang Yu sincerely said, but little friend Xia is different. You have the ability to kill dark ghosts. In the future, you will definitely be a great help to us humans, a pillar of support against dark ghosts and Yaoma. You cannot die here. Even if the dark ghosts fly into a rage out of humiliation and turn against us, that is fine. This old man has lived for too long, and his death is not to be regretted. The future will still depend on you young people. Whoosh! Suddenly, a few soldiers barged in from outside. They were extremely flustered and immediately said, "Oh no, Commander, Elder Tang, the city lord seems to have discovered our movements. He has already sent an army over to capture us." At this moment, the sound of orderly footsteps came from outside, brimming with fiendish energy. It was as if an army was bearing down on the border and lying in ambush. How could this be? How did this news get out? Quite a few people stood up. "Quick, little friend Xia, there's no time. Hurry and run. We can't stay here for long." Tang Yu's expression changed. "There just happens to be a secret underground passage here that can allow us to leave Green Sun City without anyone noticing. Little friend Xia, hurry and leave through this passage. Do not be targeted by the city lord, or else you won't be able to leave." I hadn't expected that even after all our calculations, we would still be discovered by the city lord. But little friend Xia, be at ease. Even if I have to sacrifice this old man's life, I won't let you die at the hands of these dark ghosts. Humans will never be slaves. He clenched his fists, his eyes shining with a determined light. He was already prepared to die a martyr's death. "Official Xia, this way. The passage is this way." Xiaojia's expression was grave. Without hesitation, he led Xia Ping into the depths of this residence. He skillfully opened a mechanism, immediately revealing an underground passage. It was unknown where it led to, but there were night pearls installed around it that could illuminate the passage. Xia Ping nodded. Without a word, he followed Xiaojia into the underground passage. With Xiaojia leading the way, after walking 10-some kilometers, they finally reached the end of the passage. "Official Xia, this is the way. Once we exit this passage, we will be able to safely leave Green Sun City." Xiaojia stepped forward and opened the passage, revealing the light outside. Xiaoping followed Xiaojia out of the passage. He immediately found that there was a desolate plain outside, only a few kilometers from Green Sun City. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, over 1,000 dark ghosts suddenly appeared on the originally empty plain. Ghostly chi filled the air, turning it into a boundless land of death that let out cruel cackles. "Human, we've been waiting for a long time," the dark ghost cackled. Chapter 1525. "Oh, what an honor. The city lord, the vice city lord, and the various elders are all here, and they've even brought a large group of people. Do you want to hold a welcoming party for me?" Xiaoping looked around. Other than 1,000 dark ghosts, City Lord Gao Anxing, Vice City Lord Tang Yu, and even the elders and commanders of Green Sun City had all appeared. Basically, all of the upper echelon of Green Sun City had come. This was a killing trap that would put him at death's door. There was nowhere to run. I want to hold a welcoming party, but it's just a welcoming party that will send you to hell. Are you surprised to see so many of us here?" City Lord Gao Anxing said smugly. "You might have thought that Vice City Lord Tang Yu had betrayed me, but that was just a scheme to draw you into this trap. I didn't expect that you didn't suspect anything at all and foolishly stepped into the trap I designed for you. Nothing unexpected happened. Boring. This is really too boring." Xiaoping was expressionless and unmoved. He looked at Vice City Lord Tang Yu. "You should be a human. Shouldn't you be the mortal enemy of dark ghosts? You're actually in cahoots with dark ghosts and becoming their dogs." He could see that the auras of Tang Yu and the others were all human. They had not been possessed by dark ghosts. "A wise man submits to circumstances," Tang Yu said matter-of-factly. "There is no future in being a human. In the future, this world will definitely be a world of dark ghosts and Yaoma. Humans will not be able to resist them. Only by becoming dark ghost vassals will we have a chance of survival. I only made the correct decision. Surrendering to dark ghost was not the wrong choice. You want to become dark ghost vassals, but dark ghosts don't think so. They only treat you as food. If they're in a good mood, they'll eat a batch. If they're in a bad mood, they'll kill a batch. What difference is there between you and beasts?" Xiaoping narrowed his eyes. "Do you want to live like this in the future? Is becoming nether ghosts slaves such a good thing for you? Shut up. Who do you think you are? Even at death's door, you're still so stubborn. What we do has nothing to do with you. An elder roared angrily and cursed loudly. There's no need to be angry. He's just a man who's about to die. Tang Yu was calm and composed. He waved his hand and said, "But you are wrong about this. What you described was the life of an ordinary person, and those who died were just ordinary, lowly commoners. Human nobles like us will naturally be treated differently. We won't be eaten by dark ghosts. We will become management and live a luxurious life." They had become nether ghost slaves in order to obtain food immunity. Sending some lowly commoners to die would allow them to live. This was a very good deal. Indeed, in any case, for dark ghosts, they can eat anyone. Eating some lowly commoners is enough to satisfy their appetite. That's easy. Anyway, it doesn't matter how many of those untouchables die. After a few years, another batch will be born. City Lord Gao Onxing nodded in agreement. What about you? As the commanders of Green Sun City's army, you should be protecting the common people, but now you've joined forces with Dark Ghost. If those ancestors who fought against Dark Ghost learn of your actions, how would they feel? Do you think that raw barbecued pork is better than giving birth to all of you? Xiaoping looked at the group of generals. Slut, you want a foot after taking an inch? Ignorant brat, what do you know? Although becoming Dark Ghost slaves is a lowly status, it's better to live than to be exterminated. That's right. This is the best way to save the human race. Che Xiujuan and the others clenched their teeth and cursed. Xiaoping's words had clearly stabbed at their sore spot, but they still argued, believing that they were saving the human race. It seems you can't be saved. Xiaoping clasped his hands behind his back. Surrendering to Dark Ghost and becoming a slave is a great crime, and now you're even harming your own kind, becoming traitors. This is an unforgivable crime. Today, all of you will die. Your 9 clans will be exterminated. He indifferently looked at Che, Xiujuan, and the others as if this was a matter of course. There was no anger in his voice. For him, killing this group of people was no different than stepping on ants, so there was naturally no need for him to be angry. What? Everyone gritted their teeth and clenched their fists, bursting with anger. They wanted nothing more than to kill Xiaoping. You dare to be so arrogant even at death's door? You're still so calm. Do you think you can still live? City Lord Gao Onxing was very displeased. Could it be that you saw through Tang Yu's scheme? He suspected that Xiaoping had known about Tang Yu's scheme from the start. Otherwise, how could he have been so calm? I saw through it long ago. Did you think you could hide the killing intent in your hearts from me? I didn't say anything because I wanted to see your monkey show. I have to say, this show is quite marvelous and has broadened my horizons, Xiaoping said. He had learned the telepathy art, which was equivalent to his mind connection. He could sense the killing intent and other negative emotions of his enemies. If Tang Yu and the others truly wanted to help him escape, why would they have any killing intent towards him? Thus, he had long since seen through these people's ill intentions, but he had not said anything. He wanted to see what they wanted to do. This bastard. Tang Yu and the others clenched their fists. Their lungs were about to explode. What they had done was a monkey show in the eyes of the other party. He was really looking down on them, especially Tang Yu. He had always thought that he was smarter than the others and had a sense of superiority. However, he had not expected to be fooled by someone who had seen through his scheme. He could not tolerate such humiliation. His face twisted, turning green and purple. So what if you saw through it? In the past few days in the City Lord residence, you ate the food we sent every day. It contains slow-acting poison. After eating so much, I'm afraid the poison has already attacked your heart. How much strength do you have left? City Lord Gao Onxing sneered. I'm afraid that even a 7-year-old child with a dagger can kill you now. I won't waste any more time with you. Commander Che, go and cut off his head. He immediately gave the order, no longer wanting to waste any more time with Xiaoping. Whoosh! In an instant, Commander Che and the other generals of Qingyang City attacked. They were vicious and vicious. Strong dark energy exploded from their bodies, and they moved like ghosts. These generals were all at the pinnacle of the true fire realm. They were just a step away from the Golden Core realm. They were extremely strong. Martial Path Mystique, Underworld Heart Destruction Palm. In the air, Countless black palm prints appeared. Each palm print was covered in dark runes, as if there were countless evil spirits surrounding them. They gave off a hellish aura. The ground was also covered in dark energy. An icy aura gushed out, and the ground froze. It was as if ghosts had come out of seclusion.